Let's get started.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
Do not attempt to adjust your dial. I'm transmitting live. Yo,
Let's get down to business.
Now let's get it all in perspective. We did it like that, and now we do it like this.
All right.
for the underground world, every street and borough.
You may learn something.
You are now listening to the Joe Rogan Experience with Chico, Simon, Kamar, and your host, Matt Floyd.
Welcome to the Joe Rogan Experience. My name is Matt Floyd, joined as always by Kamar.
Welcome to the party.
And Simon.
What is up, y'all?
What we do here is very simple. The three of us have listened to every episode of the Joe Rogan Experience this week. We're going to rate the week as well as each episode on a scale of 1 to 5 Jamie Vernons. We're then going to do a deep dive, talk about each guest, the talking points, give our opinions, this, that, and the next. But first, Kamar, how was your week?
Thanks for asking, brother Brad.
Brother Matt.
I thank you, Matt. Hello to the new listeners. Welcome aboard, and thank you all for tuning in since the beginning. I just want to thank everyone for the Chinese inventions.
No, just JT Espinoza.
Oh, no, other people.
Oh, okay.
But what I found was gunpowder for sure. The printing press was JT, did not mention so.
Keep in mind, when I was talking about things they'd invented, I wasn't talking about thousands of years ago. I was trying to be more recent, so.
Yeah, like the nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. We've already done this.
No, someone brought up that the USS Enterprise. Now, I don't know if they were talking about, is there...
Yes, it's not Star Trek, Matt. It's a
yeah,
ship.
that's what I'm saying, is a ship, yeah. So that already existed.
Yes, the nuclear.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. No, I just want to say thank you for the fan feedback.
Okay.
And also, I'd like to give a shout out every week to new Patrons. Patrons, you know I love you more than anything. JT Coachella. No, sorry.
It's Espinoza.
JT Coachella.
Trust me, it's JT Espinoza. This guy has been a listener maybe since the very beginning.
I guess we're just going to go with JT Coachella.
I think he might
Thank you
be
very much.
The OG.
In my eyes, he's as OG as they come. He's been messaging me since like episode 5, maybe.
God bless you guys.
Shout out
Thank
to
you
JT.
So much, everyone.
Welcome.
And it scared the shit out of me this week when you said the episode might not come up. I was terrified. But so glad that worked out.
I was pissed, not terrified. Apple offers zero help.
Worth $1 trillion.
Yeah, unreal.
Kind of like Instagram. Talking about a company that offers zero help when you have a problem.
But that's Facebook.
Well, because they're like, you have problems on here, buddy, figure it out. Apple is like, it's a complex. I mean, I get it. What were you trying to figure out with Instagram?
I mean, like when you get taken down or something and you're trying to like
gotcha.
reason with a human being and there is no reasoning because you can't. There's not even a phone number, Matt.
No
You know
transparency.
What I mean, there's no.
course
Even
not.
if you wait online for 5 hours, you will never talk to a human being.
Oh, of course not.
That's frustrating,
Yeah.
dude. Like it is. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to butt in on your week.
One of the worst things about Apple, too, just real quick, is like you realize how quickly and how vulnerable all your shit is. Like the guy that's on with me trying to help me, he goes, I'm just going to remotely take over your phone if you don't mind. Can you just hold the camera up to the screen? And I was like, what? He's like, just hit accept. And I accept, and he's like, okay, there we go. And I'm like, so now if I spin this thing around and I'm ass naked, like this guy has the whole, it's just odd.
Just input your SIN number and your credit card number and...
But it's a weird thing when you think this is just some operator guy, like whatever. And now he's got control of your whole phone and everything, your identity.
Yeah.
Like,
It was nuts.
I told you guys that Wayfair definitely has like a type of person that they put on as their phone answering.
Yeah, the super happy,
It's a like ambiguous
bubbly gay.
Midwest. They have like this adorable accent that you can't be angry at. I'm sorry, sir. I really wanted to help you out with that. I'm sure it's en route. You're missing a leg to your chair. We'll get you that ASAP.
Dude, it was the same guy with Apple. He was like, man, I got to tell you, these allergies are just getting me, man. I hope you never have allergies. And I was like, what in the fuck is going on here?
he
Like,
was from Texas, or
he was like a Midwest, like who knows with this accent, but I gave it a little drawl for sure.
Anyways.
Sorry, Kamar, how was your week though?
what? And then the episode came up, so I had a great week. And I actually just yesterday went up to my land with
that's nice.
Brett Hooper and his son, and shout out Brett, Liam. We had a great time.
That's nice.
We blew stuff up. It's the best time of year to do it in the snow. You know what I mean? And then we went up to the Diet compound, and it was an amazing day. It's like it was hot in the sun.
Oh yeah, it was
t-shirt.
pretty sexy out. That's for
And
sure.
yeah, that's my week.
Simon,
Yep, my week was good. And did you see that Milo is straight now?
Oh, it's a
You
troll,
haven't-
obviously.
you haven't,
Like, what are you doing here?
You didn't watch the episode yet?
No, I did.
Okay.
I'm just fucking
I
around.
tried to beat us to the punch. When they first read it, they thought he was real, and then they're like talking it out.
How did anyone read that?
But Milo is straight. Okay, I get it.
No,
It's a
I mean,
joke,
he was playing it.
obviously.
Yeah, but even dude,
He looked hilarious, eh? With like a Ford hat.
Yeah.
Cars.
listen. As soon as I saw it, I was like, "This guy's the biggest troll ever." There's no way he just turned straight. Like he
It's-
might be the gayest person ever.
It's 2021. Trump was president. Anything can happen.
Okay, I guess. Yeah.
But when we did the this won't age well on Milo on the Patreon join now, you guys hated him.
Yeah.
You dislike him less now?
No, still hate him.
That's fine. That's fine. Simon,
Yeah, no.
still hate him?
I was just joking, man. I didn't mean for this to become such a.
I know I thought that was getting serious.
Anyways. Yeah, and then, it's nice. It's nice that the fucking weather is breaking. Just makes you feel better.
I've had enough of winter.
Yeah. I've had enough.
God.
Yeah,
damn
there's a I don't know, joie de vivre in the air.
As everybody
How's your week,
infects
Matt?
each other.
How was my week? Whatever.
Good to hear.
Well, I mean, my computer fucking up was an issue. It's fine. I'm just gonna get the podcast to buy us one. No problem.
And the crypto's doing well.
You're not supposed to talk about it.
The markets.
Oh, the crypto markets.
You told me that GameStop. Did you hear about that?
Well, that
Simon?
has nothing to do with crypto.
Oh, I mean the market. Sorry, pardon me.
I mean, he's heard about GameStop. He does listen. Unless you're following it closely, you wouldn't. Nothing changed this week. Like it sat at 200 all week.
I saw someone said something about they made money because of your tip, and that just warmed the cockles of my heart. They bought a Top Shot and
Lundquist
sold
Real
it.
Estate bought himself a Top Shot, and he's.
We are not a financial advice show.
Oh, I said that to him. I was like, if you're taking financial advice from me, buddy, get out of the real estate game because you're going to lose everything.
I think we can confidently now replace the word Greek with crypto in it all. It's all Greek to me.
It's all crypto to me.
It's
Yeah.
all crypto
Yeah.
to me.
Crypto
Like,
mythology.
confidently, I can say that I know less about crypto than I know about Greek.
Well, let me tell you this. There's nothing more frustrating than spending, I don't know, between 12 and 24 hours reading, only to at the end be like, I feel like I took 2 steps back. Like not,
There's so many other things that you have to actually do a little course in to understand to get the whole body of it. Yeah.
I'm currently taking the free MIT crypto course on YouTube, and I don't know what the fuck is what. Like I'm getting deeper into the weeds.
It's
Don't you
all
want to try to take
crypto
the
me,
Algonquin
Matt.
one or like a lesser college?
I'm starting at the top, baby.
Layman's terms.
It's because MIT offers them for free. I don't think anyone else does. So I figured I would try to learn what the fuck is what.
I wish I had that time.
Anyway,
Vote.
I thought it was going to be a busier week because he came right out of the gate on a Monday. Very rare.
Me too. I
We
thought
never
were
get
gonna
Monday
like,
episodes, right?
5 episodes
Yeah.
or something.
Like Sunday and Mondays, those are non-existent as far as I was concerned. So it was very odd. I figured it was going to be a barn burner of a week. Thank God.
I don't know if we'll ever have that again.
Yeah, we will.
You don't think we'll ever have like 5 episodes in a week?
Hear me out.
Okay.
That will happen, but I really feel, not to what degree I can monitor, it is scheduled out.
Oh, it's definitely scheduled out.
2 to 3 months, like it's laid out. And so that week would be something huge. Okay,
But I think if someone dropped in or was in town, you know what I mean? Someone.
there's not a lot of people that would apply to, I don't think. Like, you
That's
wouldn't do
true.
it for Tom Pop, like, would just
No.
squeeze you in, I don't think.
Once he opens his comedy club and there's way more people coming through, maybe we'll see more like Matt saying a drop in. This guy's in town. He wasn't scheduled on to be on the show, but
But it could explain why the regulars aren't on because maybe they, for the most part, were drop-ins. As in, like,
You're in the city of Los
well,
Angeles.
not even like
everything's
Tom. Like,
possible.
let's even say Tom and Bert. Like, they're a good example of like they were good friends. Maybe it was never planned. It was just like, hey, we're all together. You want to do a quick? I can get Jamie in here. We'll do a quick 3 hour, or like that sort. I don't know.
Or Bill does like 3 podcasts
Bill Burr.
and his show and his
Yeah.
traveling. I mean, I think they're all really successful and busy right now.
Yeah, but it just seems like how you're too successful to go on the biggest podcast in the world and shoot the shit. You always have something to sell. That's where I'm at personally. But maybe it's because I'm broke.
But we agree there are some people who've gone on enough.
Yeah, but they continue to go on, so we're not talking about them.
Anyways, yeah, it was a weird week. We started off actually with the Olympic boxing champion, Clarrisa Shields, 16-19. I wish I loved boxing as much as you.
What is going on here?
We had 1620. I wrote down as Nate Bargatze, but it's Nate
It's Bargatze, yeah.
Bargatze.
Which puts to rest another conspiracy we've had.
I was hoping it was going to come up.
Why he hadn't been on?
The rift behind him, but it turned out to be the complete opposite.
They loved each other. It turned out to be a fucking like.
But I think the riff might have been, just throwing this out there before Kamar continues, Nate Bargatze, Luis J. Gomez, best friends. Joe just recently warming to Lewis. I feel like there was a while where he was not a Lewis fan. So maybe that was like preventing it at the beginning.
It still just made no, especially after watching. Like, this is the thing. If I had watched the episode and it felt like slow or awkward, I would have understood. But they seemed so jovial and like it seemed like two old friends.
Well, because you cannot, like, I would defy somebody to not want to be friends with Nate Bargatze.
I totally agree.
He's just a fucking
I
nice,
couldn't
funny
agree more.
dude, period.
Couldn't agree more.
And
but that's why we wanted him on the show so bad.
And when you hear the story, there is the funniest story he tells about Luis J. Gomez, where they go into McDonald's and Luis gets up to go to the bathroom and Nate steals the patty out of his burger. And Luis comes back to the table and he goes to eat his hamburger and it's not there. And he fucking loses it. And Nate telling the story about how Luis wants to storm to the back to fight the cook, and how the cook back there, if they're eating the burger out of your hamburger, they're ready to fight anybody. You know what I mean? Like, it's so fucking priceless, dude. But anyways, listen to it.
And then we ended the week. Well, I guess we didn't end it. Then there was Leon Edwards.
Leon Edwards, he's the guy that got poked in the eye.
No, he poked the eye.
No, sorry, he was the eye poker.
Have you seen the photo of it?
I've seen a good close-up that it's like...
Dude,
up
his
close to
finger is like under the eyelid.
It's
It
like
looks
picking a nose
fucking-
aggressive.
Oh, it looks so terrible. Like,
Is Leon Edwards the guy that Masvidal punched behind the scenes there after the fight? Remember that whole thing? They were like crossing by each other, and it was a black
was a
guy,
Brit.
I know that,
It was
and
a Brit. It might have been Leon
And he
Edwards.
said
Ooh.
something to Masvidal. Masvidal walked up and just socked
Yeah, the
him in
two-piece and
face.
so- the two-piece with soda.
two-piece and soda.
Yeah.
I think that is Leon Edwards.
you might be right.
Yeah,
That's a great question. Simon, I can't believe I don't know this off the top of my head
I
for the
thought-
record.
I thought Leon Edwards, he's not the biggest guy.
Well, no, he's like...
Like...
Well, even Masvidal only fights at like 155 pounds.
Are you
doesn't he?
kidding me?
It was Leon. It was Leon
Isn't
Edwards.
that right, though, Matt?
He fights at what?
155?
150.
So he walks around at 170.
No,
Yeah.
they're no. They're 180, aren't they?
That changes everything.
Dude,
We don't know
Check
what we're
right
talking
now.
about. But yeah,
Even then, if he's fighting at 155, Kamar, you are correct. He's walking around at 180.
something
yeah,
like
but
this
even,
at Christmas time.
even 180 is smaller than Kamar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I want to be 180.
I'm just saying.
Anyways, yeah, we had an MMA, and then we had blue collar, brash talk, and I called it like I see it. 1621, Jim Breuer.
This says he's 170.
That's his weight, but what does he fight at?
Welterweight,
Which is what?
170.
Okay.
So he's heavier than that.
It's 155 to 170, but no one in welterweight is fighting at 155.
50 pounds.
But
eh?
okay, anyways.
No, but Simon, no, you know what I mean? It's 155 to 170, which means everyone weighs in at 170. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Jim Breuer, yeah, we'll get to Jim Breuer. That's fine. Was not what I was expecting. That's for sure.
Second time.
This whole week was not what I was.
Well, we did Jim Brewer's throwback.
Exactly.
We did that one. So,
the
yeah.
first time he was on, had he already quit smoking weed? I don't think so, right?
This is the
he still
toughest.
smokes weed now, he said.
I mean, we'll
which is
get to
very-
this, but before we do, the weirdest thing about Jim Breuer is he has perpetual high eyes. Like he has Vince Vaughn tired high eyes. So even when he's like, I don't smoke weed, I was sitting there looking at him and I was like, are you sure, Jim? Are you sure? I mean, do you think him and Joe got high before? Like,
No.
did their ritual?
No.
Yeah,
He-
see, that's
he
so.
wants to get high, like he does not like the
I
paranoid.
get it. He just like, I heard him. Yeah. It just seemed odd because he always looks so fucked.
Did you see what Kamara did there? He gave you one of these.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. Snake in the grass. Like, what the fuck?
And he's so close to you now, it's weird.
I like it.
Yeah, what a week.
Well, let's rate the week. Do we want to do that?
Like it
Or?
until you're dodging spitballs.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think about Jim Breuer is he can't just talk normal. for 20 minutes.
No, it's gonna get going crazy.
He's got to fire it up. And I actually sort of, as I was thinking about it, I'm going to offer this criticism, go, that's sort of what I do too. So well, I don't know, but it's just sometimes it's cool to listen to, and sometimes it's.
But yours is different. Like you just get animated, and I think that you get really angry when the point you're trying to get across isn't coming across the way you want.
Like a baby.
No. I didn't mean it like that at all. Whereas
Like
Jim
a
Breuer,
giant baby.
oh my God, he's spilling your Red Bull.
Like a giant baby.
Jim Breuer, however,
No plug.
it seems like there's someone like with a lawnmower starter behind him every once in a while who's just revving it up.
And he's in his best place. You know what I mean? So like,
All right, well let's rate the week. Simon, do you want to start?
Sure. I give this week a.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. Just for the listeners, because everyone's asking, and we don't
Yeah,
have the
yeah,
means.
yeah.
We don't really have the means to do it. I'm going to rotate for you guys.
the power production.
Okay, we're going to rotate. Now you're going to get probably a lot of whiteboard,
Camera 2.
but we're going to give you a little rotation
gonna actually watch
while Simon
Simon
rates
rate.
his episode.
A live rate.
Okay, so we're
Okay, camera
gonna
2
have-
and swivel. Yep, that's right.
We're locked in here.
Oh no, yeah, that's it. Okay, release
So-
the boom.
So my week in no particular order, Matthew, goes a 4, a 0.5, and a 3.
Oh, you're asking for
Really liked Clarrisa Shields, right?
In no particular order.
A 5, a 1 point. Oh no, a 0.5.
Hold on.
And
I need
a
to
3.
I need to hear those again, Simon.
4,
Yeah.
3.5.
So 7.5 divided by 3.
Give it to the people.
It's like 2.4, let's say.
Sure. I like it. 2.4.
Sure. That was quick, shitty math. But we all know lately that I talk shit about my math, and it is garbage. Talk about how good I am, and I'm trash.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2.8. I'm gonna give it a 2.8.
2.8.
It had something about it.
Okay.
Well, it's unfair because one episode just drags this week so far down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That should have been an MMA, frankly.
yeah. Nate was a real disappointment.
I guess I'll give it. I'm going to give it a 3. So that, I mean, Simon's right. One of the episodes really weighs it down. But let's get into it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to give that episode a heart.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. All right.
So
1619.
Clarrisa Shields.
Clarrisa Shields. So here's the problem with this episode right before we get going.
Well, it should have been an MMA.
Well, yeah, and if it's an MMA, it gets all sorts of passes, you know? Like, first of all, we don't listen to it, so we don't have to review it. But even if we did listen to it, it gets all sorts of passes, you know?
Yeah, it gets a total pass from us.
But now I have to, like, review this episode, and this poor girl just is going to get lambasted.
Well, it's just
I
weird.
don't feel good about it.
I mean, the weird thing is, like, mixed martial arts, I guess, isn't boxing. Is that what the weird?
Bullshit.
No.
I call it bullshit.
No. You guys just talked about it. I figured it out in my head. But like this is sort of what the exercise guy should have been. You know, this kind of dedication and passion. You need to be a 5-time world champion, and he's just going, oh, I guess I'm going to do it again. And what was her big problem is exposure. And I think Joe did this as exposure. Like,
Dude, what did my mom called me randomly this week, and she goes, "How's the podcast?" I went, "Good." She goes, "Anyone interesting on this week?" And I said, 2 comedians, an English MMA fighter, and a female gold medal boxer. And there's a long silence, and my mom goes, "There's female boxers?" And I go, "Yeah, Ma, I'm sure there are." And she goes, "They can't make money." And I went, "I don't know. I mean, she's on Joe Rogan, so I assume she's doing well." And then there's another long pause, and she goes, "Can't be many sponsors. Who would they get? Tampex?" And then she starts laughing, and then she starts cackling so fucking hard. Like, she made herself laugh harder than...
did you write that down?
Dude, it was... I was like, holy fuck, Ma.
Our mums would get along so well, Matt. They'd be like Waldorf and Stadler.
Dude, my mom keeps saying, she's like, why don't we get all the mums together to do a podcast? And I was like, you guys all have money. Put that shit together your fucking self.
Or pay us.
Yeah, or that.
Has your mom ever been in a fight?
Like a physical altercation?
fist fight?
I don't think my mom's hit me for being a jerk before, but I don't think in her life, maybe she's 14, she fought with her sister or something.
I mean, my mom's like 5'1", 5'2".
What kind of question
That's
is
a weight
that?
class.
That's a
has
weight
your mom ever
class.
been in a fight?
What are you driving at?
Nothing,
No way
nothing.
Simon's mom's been in a fight. My mom is first of all, my mom, from what I remember, is like a black belt jujitsu and just bending your fingers and hands back in ways that will just like
Like a
cripple
four-man
you.
Seagal?
Yeah.
No,
Is she actually a black belt?
No.
I see. What
just
you're saying. Gotcha.
hood strength. No, I think it's like
White hood, wasp hood.
if someone who fights like I can see how my mom would as if women box or something. Like we're trying to say that's sort of not woke.
Oh yeah, my mom is
point of
not
view.
woke. Yes, if that was where you're getting at, yeah.
And you said Olympic champion, but she's also a 2-time world champion.
Well, she's a lady,
Okay,
though,
but
so she can get.
Sorry,
away with
I
it.
figure I figure the Olympics are at the top. So once you say Olympic champ, it's kind of implied maybe that they've won a world championship.
Except for when you're training for the Olympics, they can fine you.
Yeah, that's so fucked.
Did that sound fucked? Like, aren't you supposed to want to do the sport and want to be exercising? Like,
Yeah.
Why? If you don't want to exercise, you don't have to exercise because you're there. Like,
Well, the weirdest thing too is like if I'm just naturally gifted, but I can still smoke a pack of cigarettes a day and not like. Did you guys ever see the video of GSP's training partner at the Ultimate Fighter? GSP, when he was the coach, he sits everyone down. He goes, "Guys, listen. I have that guy, this Muay Thai guy fighter. He's gonna come in. This guy's crazy. Okay, he's super crazy. Don't mess with him because you'll get hurt. He's a little bit of a weird guy." A bit of a weird guy, so just take a grain of salt, okay? He's very weird. The guy comes in, he's from France. The guy comes in drunk.
was it Jean-Claude?
I totally remember this. It was hilarious.
Dude, he comes in drunk and he's sparring with all of them and he's literally just kicking the absolute shit out of everyone. And all of them are like, this guy's nuts. So I can't remember what we were talking about or what
He
got me on
beats
this.
the shit out of everybody, though. Like, I
Yeah.
remember the episode, and I remember when GSP says it, and then the build up to him coming in is hilarious.
Because then he walks in and you're like, this
He's
ain't
in
the
like
guy.
a tracksuit.
Not
right?
even, no, he's just in like Muay Thai shorts, but he looks like Ben Askren. You know what I mean? Like, just like, he looks like the quintessential.
No, he looks like somebody who would steal your money on a moped in France. Like he would scam you at the
Sure.
airport and convince you that you need a room at his hotel or
Yeah.
something.
And Kamar, he's throwing these guys down like he's Thor from Game of Thrones. Where was I going with this
I
though?
have no idea.
We were just talking about how she like there's no exposure and
Oh, that was what I was saying. You were like fined for not exercising. And I was like, if you can be this guy and you can drink all day and smoke all day and still perform at the top level, then who are you to fucking fine me?
it doesn't seem very fun at the Olympics now.
No, did it ever seem fun?
I thought that's why people did it, but now they're
It's a fuck fest. What do you mean?
well,
I was going to say,
that
you
one
wanted
day.
to go for the orgy after the event.
Yeah.
That's what you were always.
That.
But you got to ask yourself, is the
athlete's
4 years of
village.
bullshit worth the orgy after?
Apparently so.
fun fact. What you guys may not know about for her is she's from Flint, Michigan.
Wow, what a terrible place to
So
be
that's
from.
a
No
real
disrespect.
testament to what she's done.
So she drank the water and she's still world champ. So that defies all reason.
I thought it'd be interesting if Joe knew that.
So in the history of JRE, I think this might be the person who threw the most people under the bus. There was not a person that Joe mentioned that this girl did not have a fucking problem with.
She's from Flint, Michigan, though. But you know what I mean? Like, she's got this ratchet charm about her. She's complaining, but I'm not complaining. You know what I mean?
Ratchet charm. That's a fucking great,
Colloquialism.
is that what you call it?
Because she's a female boxer. She's hot, like, and she's hood. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't say anything racist there, did I? But
It's too late.
She's like achieved everything you can. Like, she's Hall of Fame, first ballot, whatever it is. And she's 25 years old.
Yeah, her personality wasn't hot to me, though.
No, she was very off-putting.
But again, those I'm just not into those wildly aggressive.
Ratchet.
Yeah. That's not my style.
But you have to be very egotistical in a way to be the top of anything, I imagine. We've said that before.
She did use a third person. I was very impressed with that. But when she told the story about getting beat with the bat, like they broke the second broom this week, like that was a demonstration of the struggle she's overcome and to get to where she is. Because she doesn't. If you hit me for a belt, I won't talk to you. That's how I am.
I'm sorry. Maybe it's the plastic, but I'm totally lost.
Well, you didn't know what he was saying?
You don't remember the story she told? She said she's not the type of person to get you. She just will cut you. She's no time for people. As she said at the end of the podcast, she has no time for emotions, really.
Yeah, but I feel like she lived her life like she was going to die when she's 30, which I get it. If you grew up in Flint,
Again,
that's probably how you
everything
fucking...
circles back to that.
Yeah.
She really didn't like Muhammad Ali's daughter.
To be a fighter, you have to trash all the other fighters. Like
They don't even. They're never gonna fight. They're not. They're in totally different time periods, and they have a beef. It's weird.
Yeah, but I noticed that in like I find a lot of fighting like that too, especially when you're at the top. You want to call out all the other people that are at the top, and
I guess if you don't think they're worthy, like I see a lot of people calling out Lennox Lewis, but they forget. You forget.
well, it's the best is to call out someone who won't fight you.
yeah, that's always a good thing too.
But you never know now. Like, do you know Aaron Carter is fighting basketball player Lamar Odom?
What?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Hold
First
on,
of all,
how do those? That's the biggest
Aaron
mismatch.
Carter
Wait,
is like my size.
That's what I'm talking about here, boys.
yeah, there's no.
Lamar Odom will be able to literally put one hand on his head and keep him away and just, like father him.
Just speed bag them.
Apparently, but I don't know. You might pay. I doubt you pay to tune into that.
I saw Aaron Carter on No Jumper.
Hey, I was just going to say that. Me too. It was crazy.
It's disturbing.
Not only
disturbing.
crazy, but when you looked at that guy, you were not like, this guy could take on all comers or any comers.
This guy could write a song.
He had just got a face tattoo. Was that?
No, it's crazy. I can't believe I've wanted to share these for a year, man.
It's old. But
Yeah, it's old. Yeah, I'm just saying.
It
I didn't
came-
watch it
No,
recently, but
he just came back on to announce this fight.
Oh, really?
oh, okay. I'm not
Yes.
talking about that one.
No,
I saw
I'm
one
talking
like
about the one before, and it was nuts. It was like he was literally on the edge of a total fucking meltdown.
Yeah.
And he kept like standing up and like going up to Adam and like.
But he sold 60 million albums. He's, the Doctors?
What?
He's on one. He has no money, but this is what he thinks. But he was in the Doctors talking about how he huffs paint. He's lonely at the top.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, and anyone who's listens to our show and huffs paint, you can get help. But I'm sorry, I'm not belittling you.
I don't
But
think
Aaron
anyone
Carter,
that listens to our show huffs paint.
At least freebase. At least do something
least
fun. You know what I mean?
freebase.
And she's doomed because what does she want is an entourage. Like Mike Tyson 101, how to get rich boxing and lose it all. It's like her vision of what she wants to achieve is like
I'll give her a pass
the
because
shattered
she's
dream.
25.
She's 25, and she said boxing's got no money for me, so I'm going to UFC.
Is she going to dominate the UFC, Maddie?
She can't go to UFC. She joined the PFL. She's got a 3-year contract with them.
Oh, I thought she was going into the UFC.
No, she signed
Will she dominate the UFC? The answer would probably be no.
Mixed martial arts. Then.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, if she was in the UFC, the answer is no. Sorry,
Cricket's
that's
in
me.
here.
They all already believed in her that they wanted to fight Nunes already.
She wants to fight Nunez.
No,
Are they the same weight class?
there was an
Matt?
offer, but it was like all rules, not just boxing. So she'd be like a fool to do it.
Well, no, but she's going into the mixed martial arts, right? Like she's learning to wrestle. She was working with John Jones and Winklevoss.
Yeah. I think her plan is to be in this league for 3 years and get to the position where she could transfer to the UFC.
Yeah.
And fight.
I
if
mean,
Nunes is still at the top, whatever.
If she's such a good boxer
yeah.
and she can make herself competent on the ground, I mean, listen, we've seen crazier shit, man.
Well, if she's going to take 3 years, then she's not going to fight Amanda Nunes. So
No, Amanda
it won't
Nunes will be
matter.
out of the game by.
But that's what
3
I'm saying
years.
is if you're not going to beat Amanda Nunes, and this is the type of chick that would never fight Amanda Nunes, get to the UFC, and then be like, well, I'm a better champ. She was shit.
Amanda Nunes' career is almost over, unfortunately, because there is nobody left for that woman to fight.
Dude, she's keeping one division together. Like they cut Megan Anderson right after she lost to her. Right after. You're out.
That doesn't even make any sense. You're contender for the belt
Yeah.
and you get cut immediately afterwards.
That's correct.
That's psychotic.
You guys have no idea how much Amanda Nunes is How old she is? Sorry.
You want me to take a guess?
I think she's
like 24, 25.
No, Amanda Nunez. I bet she's like 31.
That's amazingly young to be at the end of your career.
No,
Oh, she's at the end of her career.
I'm saying because there is just what is she gonna do? Like
Who
who's
else
she
can
gonna fight?
she beat? Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. In 3 years, she probably won't be the champ, but there may be a champ. And I mean,
She's 32.
okay, this girl is 25, so she'd be 28
way
when she go
off.
in the UFC.
And that's what I'm saying. She's not going to fight a 35-year-old Amanda Nunez. Like, she'll be long retired by then.
I won't care about her journey now, but if in 3 years the UFC announced she's fighting, I'd like to see how she's developed over the last 3 years.
I totally misunderstood. I thought we were gonna see this girl fighting in the UFC like
Soon.
6 months from now.
that would have made it a lot more.
excited.
That would
Yeah,
have made it a lot more interesting.
I was excited. What is she doing on Rogan then?
Exposure, like
For what? For her boxing?
Well, dude, there was a CrossFit guy on last week. What exposures? He doesn't even want to be in the sport. So what are we doing here?
Yeah, that guy was standing on a street corner and got hit by a career.
she was complaining about the same thing that people tell you about the WNBA, and it's like the facts and figures. But then she had figures that said she was getting paid less than other guys that are making money. Ben Askren says he's going to make more from the Jake Paul fight.
He
than
probably
any
will.
UFC fight.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
That's because the UFC doesn't pay anyone.
Dude, nobody regrets their UFC career more than Ben Askren.
I assume at
You
this
think
point,
it's done because he's.
I
taking
assume at this point,
It's done.
for him to walk in the sunset, like he's like, I'm laughing.
well, I also think he's going to get starched by Jake Paul.
Oh, I do too.
Okay.
Are you gonna put your money where my lose?
I'll bet money on it, sure.
I do.
I'm sure you must be able to.
I
yeah,
mean,
of course you can.
if it was somebody else who we had seen had like some hand skills, I would say maybe. But he just, even when he came out, how low he held his hand, like everything, he's just.
He was just a wrestler and not supposed to be
But
elite
I
MMA
could be
artist.
totally wrong because we all know that, professional fighters, you never know. One punch, one anything, right?
Sure. I mean, I also watched Jose Canseco get starched by like a 22-year-old barstool intern. So the whole
Yeah,
this
but
guy's a professional athlete.
I
thing.
didn't say professional athlete.
I know you said professional fighter.
But
Yeah.
closer to prime is a factor on the whole level.
This is what I'm
the
saying.
Fighters obviously got an advantage over anybody.
Imagine Ben Askren comes out and he's just fucking jacked. Like no more dad bod.
No, he will be, but
he's-
Jake Paul's gonna be jacked, man.
I saw him pulling a fucking fire. He was pulling a fire truck the other day.
These brothers, love or hate him, have nothing else to do but take this seriously and try.
Fuck them, though.
They don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
a job
I
they have
know.
to do or worry about any money. They can train as hard and be like, I'm gonna fucking either humiliate myself or become a star. And like everything else that they put their mind to, the stakes are rising. She was talking. Her fight gets promoted 4 weeks. The other person gets 6 weeks. Like I heard there are some systemic issues that. You could do this fairly, you know what I mean? But you're just saying they just don't make enough money, but they don't make enough money because they get enough exposure.
But it's gross when you actually think about it. Like this girl who's the best can't get any exposure at all. And then Jake Paul, who's this fucking garbage man and like dominates the sport all of a sudden. I don't know. It's just another example of Tekashi 6ix9ine ruining the world.
Yeah.
Well, hold on though. I'll say this: like eyes on. It's the same thing with starting a podcast. Like you could have the fucking best podcast in the world, but if you're a nobody from nowhere, it's very tough to gain a following. Whereas if you're just fucking, a porn star could start a podcast and have 1 million downloads first episode.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the content. It's, having a name, and that's where this lies. Is
It's almost like siphoning off the internet because the internet is this giant information universe.
Yeah.
And you just got to get into it. You know what I mean? There's just a flow and it's a little trickle. Then the more you get into it,
Yeah,
just
it's
got to
the-
hook onto an arm.
if you're involved,
The Tekashi factor.
there may be some Tekashi factor to it, Simon.
I mean, come on. I think what you're saying is if you know how to use the internet, getting rich is like pretty fucking easy.
But it's hard to use it. Like
Yeah, well, it's hard to figure out
to
well.
get it started,
yeah.
but it's a well that you can tap and
Or if you have enough money, I guess you just pay people to figure out how to use it. Like maybe all the
that exists. That
Let's
exists.
just back
That's
up.
not
Let's
an invention.
back up for 1 second because I don't know Jake and Logan Paul's backstory. Were they rich kids to start?
No.
Nope. They started off in Ohio just making fucking vlogs.
Middle class.
Okey-doke.
With like,
Self-made. Can't take anything away from him.
I mean, I can.
Like, you can be annoyed with Tekashi, but he still is self-made. If it's like that's the worst thing to make. I think though, like Clarrisa has way more integrity than all those guys. Like
course. She's
just,
not even in
the
the
real
same-
McCoy is done the most honest way. Like
Yeah.
enough
But she's
respect
also
due.
bitching about not getting paid.
Well, as she should, I
She's
guess.
the world champ.
I get
so
it, but-
it's the one person in the league that has a say.
If you're the best in the world at what you do, whatever that is,
Yeah.
I assume you feel like you should get paid. Even if you're a fucking bowler, you feel like you should get paid or whatever. Like you're the best in the world. I imagine that if you can't translate that into dollars, it becomes a real point of contention for you.
And Joe pointed out, we like women fighters because the UFC put them in our face, right? They put them on mixed cards and stuff. It's almost from the get go.
Yeah.
I believe there used to be a time when it was just men,
Yeah, a long time.
and the 20 years, maybe less. But there was a transition, and it was just accepted. Boxing's never done that, or one or two fights. They said.
Like maybe the NBA should make the halftime show
The WNBA?
I am being totally serious. I'm
I know
not
you're being
being a
serious,
jerk
but
here.
that ruins the game. Like, do they play a game in 4 NBA games?
No, okay, so maybe it's not
Hold on.
halftime. Maybe there's some other way we can make this happen. But
I got to say something, though. This has to be said. The WNBA is fucking garbage in every way, shape, and form. It's not the kind of basketball that anyone want. I would rather watch U.S. high school men's basketball than the WNBA. It's really bad. Now, this chick can fight. So, if you put in the right opponent, there's no reason that I'm with you. They should just put them on cards. Do like the
Mix
UFC,
it
just
in.
mix it in. There's no reason not
And
to.
every once in a while, the girls are going to have a barn burner. It was like, holy shit, these girls can throw, and it's lifted up.
I just don't believe that I know it's boring to watch.
Simon, it's
How would you
it's-
know? You've never seen it.
Simon, it's
I-
exceptionally
I was
bad.
just gonna say I haven't watched it enough to like. It's just such a running joke that most people have never watched the game and say it's boring.
I'm going to show you.
Sports are sports, man. I feel like you can get into anything if you have
But
to.
that's why I want to ask you guys. Because I was just like, yeah, Clarrisa, you are the best. You deserve to get paid because you do something entertaining. But I don't find what you do entertaining. And I don't find it when men, like, I don't.
No, I find
Boxing?
boxing boring.
So this is what I'm
Women's
saying.
boxing.
Sport.
But see, there's the problem. I think we just struck. Go ahead.
What's your number one sport
To watch?
to watch?
Basketball.
Does skateboarding count?
Sure.
Then skateboarding.
Football for me. What's your second sport?
Tennis.
Probably football then.
Might be like World Cup soccer. Third sport.
What are we?
He's being so specific.
Women's boxing's not coming up for a
No,
while.
it's
That's
not
all I'm
coming
saying.
up.
Women's
until-
boxing is fucking.
UFC might have been next, you know what I mean? Then it comes out of hockey, like it comes iffy. You could say poker if you want. Like I
And
don't care
sorry.
what you watch is entertainment. Golf.
Let me hold on.
My first sport, I'm taking it back, is that fighting one from Italy.
Calcio. Yeah.
Yeah,
Full
for
contact
sure.
arm wrestling.
And I also like the one where they roll the cheese down the hill. So this is all
Yeah,
like you're not
okay.
going to see women's boxing until maybe 300, Kamar.
Yeah.
Kamar, I think the point of distinction too is you can, even when the NFL is at its worst, you can still enjoy it somewhat, right? I think that's the thing is like you might be able to watch one of the best WNBA games ever. Maybe it keeps your but the worst of them you're never ever, and that's the key right there is that at its worst it has to be able to keep your attention and keep you happy.
But women's boxing is definitely way higher above women's basketball. I think
For
women's
sure.
volleyball is probably above both of them.
Well, that could be fun.
Women's
That might be top
volleyball
5.
Is great.
That's what I just said.
And
Beach, hold on,
beach-
beach or hardcourt?
Both are
Both.
good.
The shorts are short. Wherever you go, man.
But beach is very exciting.
Beach is great. Yeah. It is. I
I'm
cannot
a
lie.
huge volleyball fan, especially beach volleyball. And I'm not saying that because of the short shorts. I like the game.
Do you guys think it was adorable when she was talking about her first day going to the gym as she's in her transition and she goes out loud, Jesus, what am I doing here? And the guy's like, what's wrong? I was like, oh, did I say that out loud? Like, she's so cute, adorable, and real. You know what I mean?
And then really like bitter and
Well, I think that's
mean
no, but
and
no, but
vindictive.
let's talk about world greats. Jordan, Clarrisa.
Yeah, it helps to have a.
You
it
gotta
helps-
have that
Did you
chip.
just say Jordan then Clarrisa?
Hey, I'm trying to equal.
Mara's trying to get
equal-
fucked. This is great.
No,
Clarrisa, if you're
her
watching,
boyfriend can bench 396. Like,
It's easier
good.
to be a dick when you have the money to back it up, I guess.
And she
But
doesn't have the money. She just has the skill.
She just has the skill set and
So-
to beat all of us up.
I wish the best for her, but it was a lot of diet training, hardship.
Garbage. It was a garbage episode. Come on, guys. We're sugarcoating this thing because you're afraid to say the truth.
She's the first person. Well,
I'm gonna
she's
rate this thing so low.
no, but there's some adorable finnas and stuff like that. And she also
That sounds racist.
she might have coined the term family ships. Had you ever heard that before?
I don't even know what it is.
Friendships, family ships. You know what I mean? Like your family is a relationship, and then you have relationships with, and that's your family ship. Your relationship is all your friends. They're two ships. They're your.
Two different ships
You bounce
floating
back.
it. Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
I thought it was like she was
You're
smart.
really
and-
fucking pulling it. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, that was it. That was it.
I love etymology. What's the word?
Etymology.
When you're, the source of words.
Yep.
And it always, I see one every day almost where I'm like, holy shit, that's where that's from. And the other day it was technology. And I was like, oh, knowledge about tech. Tech.
No. Okay, you've been watching too many fucking tinfoil hats. That's how they break everything.
No, but really, like it.
Say it backwards and say it forwards.
Ship. Where does that come from? It's all very interesting.
Oh,
It's all very interesting.
That's still up in the air, friendship?
What I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Do you guys think Joe has a float tank there? Does he still float tank? Do you think he might have stopped
He has
float?
a float tank at his house, I'm sure.
He does.
Yeah.
I don't think he has one at his house.
I don't think he has one at the studio.
He stopped pushing it and on it.
he stopped pushing on it.
All those things. I guess after 10 years or whatever. But I just, the float tank was
That
mentioned because she said she didn't want to do it. That's all. She didn't want to do saunas because they're too hot and
is
float tanks because
that is interesting though, Kamar, that you don't hear him talk about on it very much lately, and the float tank also. I wonder if it was a Spotify
exclusivity.
logistics issue.
I just, those are mainstay things.
I think he left in a hurry, and I don't think he had time to install. Again, he's building the
Oh,
real
yeah.
mothership, right?
It'll
So
be next door.
That's
Yeah.
it.
We gotta wait. We
Yeah,
gotta
th-
reserve judgment until the new.
I'm kind of
studio.
We're always
for,
wrong,
I'm
so.
kind of excited for that, like a new studio.
could be crazy.
Oh,
Well,
it's gonna be crazy.
Well, it'll be crazy in that we didn't like the adjustment to this studio, but now it's normal.
Everything he was missing from the old one, like for his own purposes, he'll add to this one. So, what didn't he have there?
And we have not been in the studio long enough for it to become the thing. You know what I mean? That we're used to. If he changes within the next 4 months, you
I'm
say?
already used to this red studio. I've already forgotten what the old studio looks
But
like.
there was a that sort of bothers me. The
Yeah,
first
but
couple
I mean,
episodes, right?
that's with any change.
I don't think that'll be severe on the next move because less time invested in this studio. This is better. We'll see. And famous, the final quote is from 50 Cent. If I can't do it, it can't be done. Those are words to live by. I mean, I really hope the best for her. And at the end, it all made sense. She's trying to get out there. She's trying to get her name out. Talked about Don King. He's a horrible person.
I just think it's ironic that she thinks that the path to money is the UFC. How ironic. Little does she know.
Well, what do you think if you were a kid and you were allowed to choose whatever you wanted, but you really gravitated to boxing or UFC fighting? Which one do you think would be the
The moneymaker?
most realistic possibility? Yeah.
I would tell my kid, don't get into either of them.
Of course.
Like, I would be like, listen, if you want to take martial arts on the side, do that for sure. I think that's a great thing to have. But I would be like, this is not the career path you should probably want to go down. Now, again, if you've chosen MMA as your career path, all the
But
power
they
to
want
you.
to do one. Dad, I want to do
But, like, if
boxing
Mike-
or MMA fighting. What do you think I should do?
Oh, then I'd tell them to be, as far as money goes,
Yeah.
boxing.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, I would say MMA.
I don't want you to do this, but if you're going to do this, this is
The future. You think there's a future in boxing, Matt? I don't think there is.
I'm just saying, as of right now, where we stand, the biggest money is in boxing. Conor McGregor, biggest payday of his life, boxing.
It's crazy. If
Ben
Floyd
Askren's
Mayweather
about
gets
to have the biggest payday of his life, boxing.
$100 million. Like, how does that? So, how much money do they make in a hole that he gets his $100 million pie out
Dude,
of?
it's like $100 pay-per-view.
No, is it $50 million? No, it can't be. It's gonna be more than. It's gonna be $101 million.
Yes, I was just gonna say. I was like, Kamar, don't. You're never holding the money.
$1 billion. If they're paying them out that
It's
much,
gotta be.
everybody's got to make profit.
It's got to be $500 million, maybe.
Well, think about it this way: the biggest pay-per-view buy ever was like Mayweather Pacquiao, I think, and I'm pretty sure it had like fucking 5 million pay-per-view buys or something. So
But-
that's $100 times 5 million.
So that's $500 million.
Yeah.
And
Just in pay-per-view buys.
That's what I also want to clarify. Just in pay-per-view buys,
Yeah.
because there's sponsorship deals, just a
Yeah.
whole bunch of stuff.
But the
going
pay-per-view-
up that makes a
Here's
pot.
the actual
Keep in mind,
door.
a lot of the pay-per-view goes to the fighters. They get a big fucking chunk of that.
Depending on who they are in the negotiations.
Well, again, in a Pacquiao Mayweather scenario, they're both getting a
The
fucking.
networks get paid a shit ton too, man. Everyone gets paid. That's my
Well, of course,
point.
everyone
There's-
gets paid. Yeah.
If they're
no one's
making
doing
that-
this for free.
It's all
just enough to keep the lights on.
it's all a ratio, right? So if the fighters are making that much, then the TV networks are making this much, and the promoters are making this much, and like it's
money she's not getting some of, and I hope she gets it.
she'll never get it.
I found all
No,
the.
I'm sorry.
I found
It's just how it is.
all the training stuff and like eating regimens and all that stuff. Like she sort of seemed a bit like Fraser.
We've given her way too much time.
Okay.
No, I'm just. I feel like we're just drawing at like air at this point.
Yeah. Well, I said the last point 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
So do you want to rate it then, Simon? Since you seem very done with this.
yeah. 0.5. You know my rating.
Okay. Kamar?
I'm gonna give it a 1.8.
A 1.8. Wow. You really like this chick.
It's all because Kamar thought she was hot.
No, it was too. The best was no one knows who Earl Spence is. Earl Spence. Do you guys know who Earl Spence is?
Because of Joe, I do.
I don't.
No, me either.
Exactly. So, well, that's why it's a 1.8. I just couldn't connect, but she's cool. Mad respect.
I give it a 1. Not my cup of tea. Should have been an MMA. We all agree on that, right?
Should have been should have been an MMA.
Yeah. Should have been an MMA.
1000%.
But I think Joe was doing her solid, and I bet you a lot of people see MMA and say, I'm going to pass.
That's a good
I
point.
bet you that's common.
That's a strong
And
point.
he just said, this is my part. He knows
That's a
she's
strong point,
I
Kamar.
like that, Kamar.
It's good to have Joe
take
Rogan in your
that-
corner.
I'll take that to the bank.
It is good to have Joe Rogan in your corner.
Still-
I'm sure we
still a
don't have him in our
0.5.
corner.
Still
Still
a
a 0.5. Are we moving on or what?
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on to the next guest, 1620.
Nate Bargatze. It's
Nate motherfucking Bargatze.
Nate Bargatze.
been Nick Bargatze. Now, if you've been a long-time listener, Simon and I have long hypothesized that there had to have been some rift here because there was no reason. Like for us, Nate Bargatze was on a level, and I think he proved that in this episode that he's been around long enough.
We went over this in the intro.
And I think that
And
Simon.
I do get to say, sorry,
No, go ahead, Kamar.
I wanted to say while we were talking about that, I bet you there's a connection between Giannis and Nate because they're really good friends.
Okay.
He was just on, like, it's just that crew. I could see a Chris DiStefano
Let's hope so.
coming on the pipe. I know he's out in LA doing a show right now or something, but it just seemed for me, this was just an extension, and we were totally wrong about the theory of bad blood.
Dead wrong.
Well, I wasn't part of that. You guys were.
So yeah, I think I've been calling for Nate Bargatze since we started doing this show. As
So have
somebody
I, yeah.
wanted to be on.
Could you imagine a nicer guy?
No.
Like, I don't know how he got through comedy.
Clean.
Clean. He's so clean, but I'm just saying he's not jaded. But there was times in his life, like remember he told the $500 story.
Which one was that?
I did a gig and I made my first $500 and I lost it. And Joe's like, "Oh no, you did." Well, it obviously worked out. I'm here, like I flew here, so that money doesn't matter anymore. But just he was a total struggling comic. You know what I mean?
He has a joke that you have to go back and listen to where he's talking about convincing his wife to sleep on the side of the bed closest to the door. in case a intruder comes in the middle of the night. It's so good, man.
And he doesn't swear or curse.
Yeah, no, but
I
he's
guess
just
that's the same thing.
dude. It is the same thing. Kamar swearing curse. He is just so fucking funny, and I want to be his best friend.
Yeah, he's definitely. He just seems like I don't know. There's something about him that's like so genuine and like.
But he doesn't smoke weed.
Oh well, I can get over that.
It's always something with this guy. He'd be like cool to you if you fucked his wife. Well, it's all right, man. I understand things happen.
Did you guys watch his special?
I
new
watched,
one I
I
haven't,
watched
no.
the
The new
beginning,
one.
and it's all his material from the podcast.
Yeah, there was. But he opens up with his daughter introducing him on the phone.
Yes, right before he's outside.
I didn't like that.
I didn't like the whole. I don't like it coming outside. The close up angle was good. That
Yeah.
took you out. You didn't know where he was, but when it's outside,
But they
it's
never
like,
showed the audience face on. When the audience was shown, it was from the back.
they're all masked up, but know the laughter would have been even louder. They must have, I think they jacked the mics up for the laughter that I got. It might have even been some Canada Home.
I thought he said they had mics on the tables.
They must have, because it was a good sound that you would expect on an outdoor show.
Yeah.
But just the principle, I laughed the whole way through. He's just so funny in his nonchalantness and his kind manner. You know what I mean? It's not threatening. I don't know when he's describing comedy as being mean, but the whole thing, it's overshadowed by COVID. They're wearing the mask. The show's outside. Like, why? He makes COVID jokes too, so it's all
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Kamar, you got to think that he must have, like, you were talking about how did he get through comedy. He talked about Patrice and him, like, leaning into Patrice. Like, most people thought Patrice was a total asshole. I just think Nate had that, like, fun, like it just seems interesting that Patrice, who would, like, tear someone a new asshole, he'd be like, no, I don't believe in dinosaurs.
doesn't see a bad bone in his body.
Just hilarious.
They were talking about having to drive in the beginning of your career and stuff, like crazy. What's the longest you've ever driven?
To Florida.
With yourself, by yourself? With someone or by yourself? By yourself.
The longest I've driven by myself? Oh, I don't know. Not that far. Probably Toronto.
5 hours?
Yeah.
By myself?
Kamar's obviously got
Yeah, probably
a
Toronto.
banger of one
You have
coming
12 hours?
No, I said probably Toronto by myself.
I was thinking my longest was like 6 hours from Terrace to Prince George
But I've driven through the night
with someone there,
with another person in the car. Like,
which is way
never
crazier.
stopped
Oh,
driving.
I've driven to Florida probably 7 times in my life and back. I've driven to PEI 6 times, maybe more. Never drove out west.
It's always better to have company.
So we're never going out west, are we, at this point in time? And that dream is
Oh, yeah, that's probably done.
okay.
Oh, that keeps you guys right here where I want you.
Well, I'm going to Vegas in June or July.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For make some bets or something?
I don't know. My grandmother's wants to go. She's old and
4th of July, that sounds like it's going to be amazing. As they were
I'm
saying.
definitely not going 4th of July. What do you want me to?
Oh, you said sometime in July?
Yeah. I would never go 4th of July to Vegas.
They were talking about shout-outs, like an older comic says something to you, and that keeps you going for months or whatever, like some sort of acknowledgement. And Joe mentioned the Mark Maron one.
Yeah.
And just it's funny how he just blows back every time he sees Mark Maron's like, hey, yeah, you're pretty good at you. Because he was a pro when Joe started,
Yeah.
sort of surpassed him. And then he was a pro when Joe started podcasting, sort of surpassed him. And one of his little, you'll get you one day, Rogan, from Maron. Because they're the same age, or 57, 53.
I doubt he has that, though, because he's successful.
I think he's a jerk.
Well, they were in a beef for a long time.
I know.
I think he's a jerk, Maron. I still think he harbors it.
Oh, maybe.
It probably pays to him. They were talking about outrageous stuff, and he didn't mention Eddie Bravo. Because I don't think Eddie Bravo...
Outrageous stuff? What do you mean?
People don't believe in space, no moon.
Yeah, Eddie
the lights
Bravo
above.
hasn't been mentioned in a while.
I just thought that
He's
was
still in,
curious.
He's still in. He was supposed to come back into the world after the election, but he still hasn't emerged.
Yeah, it's odd.
But maybe he has to focus on
9th Planet Jiu-Jitsu.
10th Planet because
I I bet
of
he.
COVID and
I bet he
stuff,
called someone to help coordinate a bus to drive to the Capitol on January 6th. You know, just laying low. Like
Maybe
he's
he's-
aided and abetted. He didn't know this was going to go wrong, though. That wasn't his intention.
Maybe he's on a cruise to the ice wall.
Or he's in Mexico.
Maybe he's actually doing that.
He's in,
No, maybe he did it. There was no ice wall. He came back all quiet. And I was just like, okay,
and
I
I was
got to
in
regroup.
Mexico getting plastic surgery to come back as Bravo Eddie.
Yeah, no, it's weird that Eddie hasn't emerged yet. Now that I think about it.
And so before this podcast, Simon, you liked Nate,
Before this podcast, I loved Nate,
and then you found out that he believes in Bigfoot.
he believes in Bigfoot.
That must have just been.
It's great. I mean, I have a lot to say about Bigfoot. I did some serious thinking, and
I was hoping he was going to say research.
no, well, not research, but we are looking for Bigfoot, right? People are out there searching for Bigfoot. The people who don't believe
We is loose, but okay.
the people who don't believe in Bigfoot, a la Joe, will say things like, well, you know, we've searched everywhere. We've never found him. So he can't exist or she can't exist. We've only explored 5% of the oceans. Doesn't the most likely place seem for Bigfoot to be in the ocean?
Wouldn't that just be a big fish?
No. Maybe they actually live underwater.
Bigfoot.
Maybe they have a whole fucking city in the 95% of the ocean that we've never explored.
Like a bubble.
Yeah.
So they're
Maybe they're just bubble
some
creatures.
giant air pocket or something.
Like I have
Honeycomb.
been contending for a long time now that Bigfoot is just another species of alien, then who's to say, like, if they are an alien from a different dimension or a different planet, they had to get here. They're smart enough to get here.
They're smart enough to.
Why do we think
cloak
that
themselves.
they're big, dumb fucking apes? That's just what they look like because we can equate
That's just what
that.
they want us to believe.
No, Matt, because we can equate that to something that looks similar that exists here on Earth. But if they're an alien, who's to say that they don't have a fucking whole sophisticated
Not I, Simon.
villages with cities, whatever,
I'm not gonna
underneath
say
the
that.
ocean? I think it's pretty obvious. And the fact that we're not looking down there and that we don't look down there just should tell you that, like I've said all along, everything cool is down there.
But just sidebar,
Yeah.
keep it in the ocean. It's all right to kill a fish because they don't feel anything, right? I think we have Patrice O'Neill knows this. It's actually a lyric in a Nirvana song. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I've heard
Fish
this.
don't
yeah.
feel, right?
Are you going to
Yeah.
mermaid this?
Well, no, I mean, I feel they don't feelings. They swim in super cold water, fish. Like they're different from us.
Yeah, but they're still living creatures. Like they still feel pain.
Are they living aliens? Sharks coming up all the way up to New Jersey. That's on the next one. But
So what's your contention then that all fish, we see them only as they're like coming up to the surface, but when they go down deep enough, they're living in like cities, like real, they're driving
to us it's water, to
cars
them
and-
it's space. I don't know. I mean, they're just weird, right?
Fish?
Eat fish, they're weird.
Well, no weirder
Well, everything's
than, like,
weird.
No weirder than a Bigfoot living in a
gorilla.
bubble.
Yeah.
No, but they're two totally different things.
But they're in the same place. If these Bigfoot are having these underground cities, the fish know about them, or they.
Well,
don't-
they're not
they don't have
talking to
any
us
feelings
about it.
them. No, Joe said the one thing about Bigfoot is the forests are expansive. Like it's really big when you look at a big forest, and that's nothing compared to a big forest.
Yeah.
What do you guys think the biggest forest in the world is?
Big in
The boreal forest.
maybe it's a rainforest, the BC rainforest there.
According to the internet, it's the Amazon.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
biggest
that would
forest.
make sense.
That would
yeah.
make sense. It is a rainforest.
And then I said, how much is that forest worth?
In wood or in dollars?
The whole thing, how much
Probably
is it worth?
the world's economy.
$7 billion.
Oh, no. Trillions.
Well, no, this is the thing. I looked it up, and the internet again said 18 billion.
Wow.
And then it was like, which is more expensive, the Amazon forest or the company Amazon? And
The company
Amazon is
Amazon.
worth trillions.
Yeah.
But to the soul, Amazon is worth way more than Bezos. You know what I mean?
Why did he call Amazon Amazon? Does anybody
Because he's
know?
about to buy the Amazon and trash it or make it his house. I don't know.
No, seriously, anybody know? No.
No.
What was the etymology of that?
I mean, it started off with books, so I'm trying to think of like.
It's all right. Keep on going.
It was in the days of Yahoos and Amazons. But wow, yeah, it worked out well for him.
Do you know the story of Yahoo or of Google, of Yahoo trying to buy Google? Have you ever heard that?
Yahoo trying to buy Google?
Yeah, Yahoo could have bought Google in like 2001 for $1 billion, and they said no. And then, let me look at it.
The story I've heard that's similar
ahead.
to that is Netflix tried to sell themselves to Blockbuster.
Yeah,
They
and-
thought the thing wasn't going to work. Blockbuster's like, get
Yeah, Blockbuster's like, sure, buddy.
So, guys, here, Amazon wasn't the company's original name. Bezos also favored the name Relentless. If you visit relentless.com today, it navigates to Amazon. That's very interesting.
That's creepy.
He finally chose Amazon because he liked that the company would be named after the largest river in the world, hence the company's original logo.
Interesting.
That's what this one says.
So, Kumar, this is insane. Simon, you'll also find this nuts. In 1998, Yahoo refuses to buy Google for $1 million US.
Oh, $1 million, not $1 billion. You said
No,
$1 billion.
I know.
That's a way crazier story.
2002, Yahoo realizes its mistake and tries to buy Google for $3 billion, but Google wants $5 billion. Yahoo says no. 2008, Yahoo refuses to be sold to Microsoft for $40 billion. 8 years later, 2016, Yahoo is sold to Verizon for $4.6 billion.
Well, that's still.
It's like,
I thought you were going to say $40.
Can you
Bag of chips.
Can you imagine the conversation between like Netflix and Blockbuster where they're like, yeah, here we'll sell the company for fucking $7 million, and then the next week they're like, yeah, we'll sell it for $7.
It's crazy the decisions that are made. We only see the successes, but the failures like Blockbuster could have bought Netflix. And then the last thing they were talking about Bigfoot, unless you got more to add, Simon, is when they talk about the one guy who was like, the Bigfoot community thinks he's full of shit.
Yeah. Well, can I tell you who that guy is?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, there's a documentary out there called, maybe Finding Bigfoot. I don't remember. He's a Canadian guy. He's from Vancouver, and he claims he has like real pictures, real video of Bigfoots in the wild. He claims he follows this pod of Bigfoot around, and he's been following them for years. Yeah, it's and the problem is that Les Shroud was on that, had him on his show, and another problem is
They gave themselves the wrong platform with people, sort of thing, right?
yeah, this
The
guy
opposite
sucked
effect.
a lot of people into his movie because a guy who I actually respect was on his movie, and I don't know how he ended up there. So
I wonder if their community is growing.
Simon, it's called Make Them Sign the Waiver First.
yeah, I guess so. But like this, I mean, unless this guy is not full of shit and he really is recording Bigfoots, which I guess could be possible.
Big feet.
Big
Bigfoots.
Bigfoots. I don't think it's Big Feet. I think it's Bigfoots. Or maybe it's just Bigfoot. No plural.
No, yeah.
I don't know, like Madonna. There's no Madonnas.
Okay.
Anyways. Do I have more about Bigfoot, Kumar? Yes, I have tons more about Bigfoot, but I mean, like, it's like beating
What haven't
a
we
dead
done? Yeah.
horse at this point.
Well, that was new. No, you brought something new to the table today with Bigfoot living in an underground water pod.
Well, and-
that's definitely new.
And I mean, you can take that water pod and really exchange it for anything you want because, again, if we can agree that maybe Big Feet are an alien species, then they would have all sorts of technology, cloaking technology. They could be living off planet. They could, like, fuck, guys, come on, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean,
I don't know if that's a fuck guys come on.
no, but this was the UFO discussion as well in here,
This is
interwoven.
exactly, Kumar.
And which he starts off his set with it, which I thought was like, oh, he's been talking about
Yeah.
this. But then they got into talking about fighting and diets and carbs and stuff.
Well,
And
let's
it-
not
it was-
jump
it was-
over the alien part.
Uh-oh.
Oh, well, I was going to pick it back up that they did that, and then they picked that back up with the aliens.
Okay.
And what do you got for that?
For what?
More they talk like no one cares, or what are we going to see?
Oh no, I have a ton to talk about. With
Hold on, the
aliens.
carbs and shit though. When Nate Bargatze was talking about McDonald's, I could not stop laughing the whole time he was talking about his eating habits.
It's just,
And when Joe brought up Krispy Kreme, and he was just like, "Oh, I might get 4."
do you naturally go there? Like, do you want to talk about your health when you're in Joe's presence, or did it just organically go there?
But that's again the beautiful part is that Joe didn't even preach to him like.
Oh, he looks fit.
I ate a whole box of cookies last night.
Shame.
Like a whole box. I sat down with a whole box of Chips Ahoy cookies and ate the whole thing.
Oh, please wait. What kind though?
They were just normal Chips Ahoy. I like the soft ones better, but they didn't have them.
The chewy?
The chewy. Those are my faves. Yeah.
They don't make them anymore, but the
They do
chewy,
make
the
them.
chewy rainbow Chips Ahoy.
I don't like those rainbow chips, man.
You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, they're not my thing.
Whatever.
Aliens.
Oh, yeah. Aliens. Yeah. So, I mean, let's start the conversation by just saying, again, 95% of the oceans, for some weird reason we refuse to go into. If you had spaceships, bases, all of that jazz, that would be where you would put them, period. And if they have some deal with the US government or with the governments of the world, then again, they would all agree, look, nobody's going up to Antarctica because there's a giant mile-long spaceship that's lodged in a glacier from a very long time ago. That's what the Nazis were doing up there. And now the Americans took over the job of protecting it. And the same thing would be true for the oceans. The same reason why they make flight patterns that nobody can use. And like, it's just, there's some weird shit out there that we all just accept as, oh yeah, that's just the way it is, guys. It's how it's always been. It's cool.
That would be the best thing possible coming up right now.
What would?
If they release, because one of the things Joe was saying is like, if it is alien, they could tell it, but if it is something we got, if someone like, you know, there's that weird line of like what they could tell or what they might let someone know they have. He was saying that he thinks that's the problem why they're not just going to tell you everything.
Okay.
But if there was a ship in Antarctica and they in what is it, 70 days,
Let me
they
tell
release that.
Let me tell you something.
They'll
okay?
never release that if that's
That'd
what it
be
is.
amazing though.
Let me tell you something. The Nazis, right? We know this. They were super into the occult. Who was his right-hand man there? Himmler or Goebbels? One of those two was like crazy into all of this. And they expended a lot of energy during war times when they should have been concentrating on beating Russia and the Allies and all of that shit. They were off in Antarctica doing God knows what up there. And as soon as the war was over, that was immediately taken over by the Americans. There's something up there, guys, one way or another. I don't know if it's a UFO, like that's the rumor, but there's something up there.
Down there.
For sure. Down there. Whatever, man.
Well, no,
Around there.
It's particular because there's the North Pole is.
So you just said for sure, 100%.
Well, why on earth would they have been up there building those giant bases if there wasn't something?
I want to know how you know they did that.
I just know from history.
You know that these were the boats they use. Here's some photos of the boats landing in Antarctica.
100%.
That's all I want. That's all I want.
Simon, oh my God, Simon was about to get up out of his bubble with his phone.
There'd just be air pocket and they'll die.
It was Operation. I'll tell you the exact name of the operation.
If you have picture evidence,
That would be a really great name for an operation, though, Simon.
I cannot tell you why.
Operation.
Operation.
No, Operation. I can tell you the name of this operation. Just give me a second. They run out of all the cool names, and that's the one they're left with. This is terrible.
Yeah, sorry. So
I believe you.
going on with
I don't, though. It's a good point, Kamar.
If you see pictures of German troops in Antarctica, your first thought is, I guess they're just doing some scientific experiments.
Well, first of all, they were up to tons of weird shit. Like,
But that's the weirdest.
Operation High
to
Jump.
go to some place
really?
where there's nothing.
Really burning 16 million Jews? That's not weirder?
Well, they were trying to cleanse their country. Why? And would they go to Antarctica and say, I wonder if there's any Jews here? We'll get them first. Like, what are they in Antarctica for?
You hit the nail on the head, dude. That's it. They were like, there must
Oh,
be.
no, they're just penguins. Oh, God, turn around.
Maybe it was some smart Europeans that were like trying to fucking throw them off the scent.
And Simon's just saying he has photo evidence of Germans in Antarctica, but if I see it,
Well, I mean, he's saying it, but he's literally now spent 2 minutes on the internet.
Yeah,
and if
actually-
you can't find it within 2 minutes, it ain't there.
It's possible.
So this is just on Wikipedia. I don't know what that means. So
Means that you just wrote it on Wikipedia.
was the United States Navy operation organized by Rear Admiral Richard E. Byrd Jr., which is so interesting. Officer in charge, Task Force 68, and led by Rear Admiral blah, blah, blah. Commanding on Operation High Jump commenced 26 August 1946 and ended in late February 1947, allegedly. Task Force 68 included 4,700 men, 13 ships, and 33 aircraft.
Hold on. Does it say allegedly in there, or did you add allegedly?
I added allegedly.
Yeah, you should.
So
if
it's
you're going to act on like your proper reading, you should.
I also have to admit that you first were like, this is on Wikipedia, don't know what that means. And then you quote it and go, allegedly.
Operation High Jump's primary mission was to establish the Antarctic research base Little America 4. High Jump's objectives, according to the U.S. Navy. Do you want to hear the rest of this?
No,
or
this is
you-
what the U.S. did,
Well, yeah, I'm very...
and they're taking over.
But his,
for the
his point is that
Nazis.
the Germans were
the
there
Nazis
first.
were already there, and they already had a huge base.
That is suspect.
When
4,000
they lost
people.
the war, they immediately sent this huge fleet of American
4,000
troops up
people. That's a
there.
lot of people to go check out penguins. if they took 1,000,
Dude, it's
it'd still be suspect. But yeah,
Listen, everything the U.S. military does is suspect.
That
We can
sounds
agree
like
on
evidence
that.
to me.
Kamar, if there was a giant UFO a mile long buried in the ice, that would mean, like, think about what that means. That would mean that it was buried so long ago that it was before the ice was there, right?
Oh,
Means that it's fucking ancient. That
and
mile
the other half is in
long
the ocean.
UFO, Kamar, would go back 15,000 years or at least 10,000 years to
Not
the
a
last
billion
ice
years.
age.
Not a billion years.
Well, I mean, I guess it could go back even further than that, but at
Listen,
least.
Simon, the only reason I'll give this any
fuck,
validity,
man.
the only reason I'll give this any validity
Yeah.
is the thing I've stated before, that somehow they got every country to sign off on the fact that they just wouldn't go to the Antarctic.
They can't go there. You have to have
Suspect.
special privileges.
Suspect.
every
That's
country.
suspect.
Flight
Yeah.
patterns have been altered.
Every single country.
Every country, Matt.
And wouldn't it be easier to build a runway?
Also, Simon, Google this for me. Is there no GPS in the southern hemisphere?
Oh, you mean satellites? I don't believe that, and I don't want to look it up. But 4,000 people.
Simon's looking it up.
4,000 people and boats mean supplies. Like
Yeah, I believe it's suspect for sure.
Okay.
But again, you pointed it out. He didn't. You wanted German warships going
He
there.
only has the Americans
Now,
that
guys-
relieve them allegedly.
Guys, let's back up for a second because if the Nazis were just up there, let's just say they were up there just making weapons, then the Americans would need to go up there to get
It's
those
down there,
weapons.
first of all.
Down there to
Yeah.
get those weapons. So there is a reason you would send troops down there. So immediately could be because they had to race the Russians to do it.
They
'Cause-
could have also been doing some super weird, like open sea shit down there, right?
Yeah, but I feel like you're just saying no, but this is a possibility, not a fact. And we need the Germans there.
So, Matt, GPS should work in any hemisphere. It has some limitations in terms of accuracy and visibility of number of satellites around the equator since the constellation is more polar based. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. That all adds up. I'm not some fucking flat earther. I just
That's suspect, though. I want
What
to know
is?
exactly what they were doing there.
Well, we'll have to do some more deep dive research into Operation High Jump for you, Kamar.
So as I said at the beginning,
I'm still very skeptical.
but as I said at the beginning, that would be the best thing at the end of these 180 days, wherever we're at it. If they said, "No, look, there's
That
this
is-
huge thing in Antarctica."
Dude, that's too much, though. A mile long UFO hidden in the ice that was thousands and thousands of years old. That's too much for humans right now, don't you
What
think?
about there's a alien named Alf, and we're talking with him. Like we're communicating with another form.
Yeah.
Is that too much?
I think it's too much for people. I think like Bargatze was absolutely right in his special where he's like, this happened. They told you aliens exist this year and nobody gives a fuck. I bet you most of you are like, what are you talking about, Nate? You know what I mean? Like it was so swept under the rug.
Yeah, I guess you can only imagine what the reaction to extraterrestrial, however vague or whatever it is, but it didn't. I don't think anything's too heavy for people. They won't care.
But Kamar, we see the pieces moving in like the peripheries around aliens right now, with like people leaving to the stars and all of that, and this date is coming up. So maybe you're right. Maybe there is some for once there's some huge fucking thing that's about to be revealed.
But let me ask, for him, other than a big fat like couple of I told you so's, does it change if tomorrow they're like, let's say tomorrow they say there is a super ancient massive ship buried in Antarctic. We have been communicating with it. Do you quit your job tomorrow? Do you stop living the way?
Well, I take a look at getting in the ancient buried ship space, first of all, and what angles there are. I mean, no, it doesn't change my life.
Angles
but is there money to be made there? I don't know. Like, I don't know if there's an impact to it or it changes everything we ever believed.
If we
that's
find-
that's what you're saying, right,
If
Simon?
we find out tomorrow, let's just say that there is actually a federation of beings that we are in communication with as Earth,
Life goes on.
but that changes a whole fuckload.
You
man.
surmise. You think, because you think the big ship, play it out. What would happen?
It means, Kamar, that we are in relations with alien beings. It means that by that token, we should be bartering with them. We should be using their technology.
But hold on,
It's
let me ask you
not
this.
Things up in the sky.
But hold
that
on.
We have, well, just one sec,
Okay.
that we have no idea what they are. And we can just say, oh, that's something we don't understand yet. So we're worried about it, but we're not really that worried about it. If these are like things that are, can change our economy, can change our like, come on, that's.
Let me ask you this though. Hold on, this is important. Do you not, if you think they're releasing it now in 2020, is it 2021? 2021. If you think they're releasing it now and declassifying it now, do you not think that they've already been doing that and that that's probably where we've got? So what are you worried about then?
No, I just think at that point, if we know this, then humanity demands that we start pushing the envelope, and it's not enough for this to go on behind closed doors because those options are out there. Why are our relatives dying of cancer if they have a fucking
I don't know,
machine
Simon.
that cures
The more you talk about it, the
everybody?
less I believe. Like I was in, because if they release, we have been in contact with the Federation, but we've just been saving the good stuff for now. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's a huge problem.
But your contention is they tell people that, like, should I quit my job?
Well, if I don't know, no, you shouldn't quit.
Should
your
I
job,
move into a
guess.
field and wait for someone to take me away?
Well, I don't know. If they're evil, then we should all get fucking ready to like go to war.
I think.
But hold on, so-
if they are what they are already.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean we don't have to deal with it.
Well, if they're evil, do you not think they would have already been here and like wiped us out? Or
We've dealt with it. We're dealing with it. We're in the deal.
Yeah.
with the aliens right now.
Maybe they didn't like that Trump got into power. That was the straw that broke
Those
the
are some
camel's
petty
back.
aliens, man. Those are some leftist
No,
aliens.
because that's how you get in. All you need is one fucking cowboy leader, and they're sending nukes into space. Like, it's not a joke. These things have happened, and we all looked at it before. Like, yeah, it's not a big deal because we're shooting or we're doing things that don't impact any other beings out there because they don't exist. Now we know they exist, and everything we've done up to this point has consequences.
I don't think it would move the needle you think it would. And I want the big ship in Antarctica to be released.
Right now,
That's where I'm at.
Right now, Kamar, they've shown us things that people can still dismiss as radar blips and this and that. There's still no good, like, picture perfect evidence when they can show us, with no doubt about it, a UFO close up, the inside, everything. Like, that is a huge fucking deal. I think that turns the needle. I think that makes it so your everyday person can no longer ignore this.
Are you satisfied if Joe Biden comes out and goes, you guys just can't handle the truth? Or we can't tell you?
Fuck no.
Yeah, that'd
if
be
Joe Biden can handle the truth, I can handle the
It
truth.
seems like it's going to be a nothing burger, and the only burger you could have is if it's a giant ship in Antarctica.
How funny is it that Leslie Knope loves Joe Biden? I forgot about that story on Parks and
Oh,
Rec.
my God. I wish they should bring one episode back just to do it. They ruined themselves. Actually, that show... I can't believe I watched that show.
The 7th season?
The
because of
6 and 7 are garbage.
Well,
Yeah.
is the 6 garbage?
Yeah.
I know the
when
seventh is.
When Andy gets his show Kung Fu.
Yeah, I think that's only the seventh.
No, 6 is a fight between Juan Swanson and Leslie, and it's not funny at all.
I thought that was
It's
just 7, though, isn't it? That's just the last season.
No, that's not the last season. That's
Well,
6.
I'm about to get to 6. so
Oh
I'll
God,
let you know.
I'm so sorry for you. One interesting thing I said is though with interdimensional travel is taking that side of the table, bringing it over here, stepping in. Wait, like time travel, sort of they're talking about.
Yeah, well, that's how those UFOs were said to function, right? That's how you can get from this point to that point in 0 seconds.
And so what I wonder though is your body still ages throughout that process, right? You know what I mean? When Marty goes, for simpler, Marty goes from 85 to...
Yeah, he lives 2 weeks in like 1965.
Even though he comes back right to the exact same second he left.
Yeah, he's 2 weeks older.
He's
He
right
also
there.
probably has some sort of radiation poisoning from the flux capacitor.
Let's not get too real. It's time travel. But or does this interdimensional thing stop aging?
Well, but or does
what I'm asking.
human beings have this finite lifespan where another creature who understands has a much longer, and then that travel doesn't matter? Does that make sense, Kamar? Like,
Or the human form can't travel through dimension. It's
Well,
too
Kamar,
heavy or cumbersome or something.
Maybe.
We were talking about interdimensional because I was going to say, like, if you're traveling at the speed of light, and let's say I traveled at the speed of light to, I don't know, another galaxy and then back, it's going to seem to me like however much time. But when I get back here, you're going to be like 100 years dead.
Yeah, and that's why the travel can't. That's why it has to be some sort of
Interdimensional. That's what I was saying.
something.
Some
There has
wormhole.
to be something there. Otherwise, like everything just takes too long.
It just doesn't add up.
Well, if it does add up, it's adding up like the creatures that came here to leave that UFO are still traveling back to their home planet to ever travel back here. Like it'll take millions and millions of years to.
You guys are going to hate me, but Joe talked about a time travel movie that he thought was really good. Do you guys remember what it was? You don't because you didn't mention it. But it was an Ethan Hawke movie called Predestination.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I haven't seen it either, but that's the focus of the movie game this week. A movie you've never seen and you don't know anything about.
That's crazy.
I know. That's how I'm living,
That
Simon.
doesn't make any sense.
It's the movie game.
This really is. This is
No,
obscene.
this is stupid.
What's this
Really?
movie
Pick
called?
a different movie.
Well, I mean, it's his fucking game, so
I
we're
don't-
going to play it.
Pick any alien movie.
But it's the fairest rules ever. Sometimes I pick a
Listen,
movie that
Kamar,
you're too
I
young
get it.
for.
Kamar,
You've
I
never
just
seen.
listen. I opened the book and I'm on board.
Have we seen every movie we played in the movie game? I don't think so.
we know the movies exist.
What's BTLC?
We have no idea
Black Lives
what
Matter.
year this
No.
movie would have come out in because we don't know when the fuck this movie is.
Oh yeah,
out.
that's totally
We don't know it exists. We have no idea what the budget could possibly be because we've never seen it. This is stupid.
But what if you get it right?
I don't care. I don't want to
Okay. Wow.
Taking shots in the
fun.
dark.
Yes, but it would show that. Oh, okay.
I mean, listen. I'll give you this, Kamar. I like where you're at. You're trying to level the playing field by saying, "I get it."
I don't even know anything about
But
it.
hold on, Simon's also right. Like it takes the idea of the movie.
Oh yeah, if you guys were to win this, the whole thing's a sham.
Well, just the spirit of the movie game is that you try to remember what year it was you saw the movie in, and then you have I don't know.
I think if you're a real cinephile, you would know this movie. I could tell you time period.
You said it stars Ethan Hawke.
Enough. Pick a different movie.
Okay. Under protest, Risky Business.
Perfect.
Because that was crazy. Tom Cruise is an alien as well, right? If you've been famous, the most famous person in the world for 30 years, like what do you think the average period of fame is for a person?
15 minutes.
Well, that's a good line.
No, I honestly, Kamar would say
That would make perfect sense if you divide it
of all.
what fame is to the 7 billion people.
No, it's probably longer than that, realistically. But it depends. Are we adding sports people here, or are we
Yep.
saying
no? But once you retire, that your fame is gone. You're still famous, but because Tom Cruise is still working, so he's at the top of his game and famous.
I mean, he's a unicorn.
Of course, like the Beatles are a unicorn. It's
Well,
it's very hard to find a band that still hits 50 years later.
Sure, but they're not still working.
Well, Paul McCartney is.
Okay, fine, sure, but I'm just saying, as far as what we were discussing there. I mean, I just think that I guess there's a lot of how long has Morgan Freeman been acting? He's probably been in the
But
game
he
a long
hasn't,
time.
he hasn't
Denzel
been famous.
Washington.
Denzel Washington.
Denzel
that's
Washington
yeah.
would be in that rarefied air.
Yeah,
he might
for
be an
sure.
alien
What's
too.
his name? Blade, a long time.
Jamie Foxx, like
Nicolas
Jamie Foxx has
Cage,
been around
Fox
for a
is in
long
there.
time. Even then, like Jim
Nick
Carrey, as far
Cage,
as
Tom Hanks,
Jim Carrey, Adam Sandler.
Tom Hanks, that's
Patrick Swayze, rest in
Tom
peace.
Hanks has been around for a fucking. He's been around forever.
Just think of everybody from The Outsiders.
Ron
Rob
Howard.
Lowe.
Keanu Reeves is just flown on the
He's been around forever
radar.
too. Yeah.
But Tom Cruise, top of the tops, right?
Yeah. Craziest of them all. It's crazy. But Scientology has so much to play in that, man. Like, you have no idea. You have no idea.
But
I
this
have
was
no
like,
idea, but he was
maybe-
famous. But he was famous far before Scientology.
Not super famous, but he was an actor before Scientology.
Dude,
but
he did some big films before
the length of
Scientology.
before Scientology, he did his first Scientology movie was the car one, I believe. So just go back everything.
What's
before
that, Daytona?
Risky Business?
No,
Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder. Yeah, sorry, Daytona.
So
What a
before
fucking
that,
rube.
he was never doing like
Rubbing his
giant
racing.
blockbusters. But anyways,
Do you have a year for Risky Business?
yes, I do.
I do too. I have 1983, the year I was born.
I also have 1983.
We have a tie. Wow! First time ever. This is crazy. 1983,
Nice work,
spot
Simon.
on. Did you guys earmark that was something else that made you recall something? You
No,
just
I just-
threw a dart against the board.
1983.
So you could have guessed Predestination 2, eh? The way we're playing.
I'm actually certain Jamie said it in this episode.
Oh, subconscious. I like that. But they didn't talk about how much it cost to make.
No.
Or how much it made.
Give us some
which is the movie
stats on it,
game.
Kamar.
Who was in this bad boy?
Actors, directors.
That's what's brutal. It's Tom Cruise and Rebecca De Mornay.
Rebecca De Mornay.
Wasn't
was
the guy?
beautiful.
Wasn't
No, but that's
wasn't,
all the listed
Okay,
actors.
because Ralph from Sopranos was in this. I'm pretty sure.
There's one other guy I
Who
saw.
directed it?
Directed by Paul Brickman.
Paul, good old Brickman. All right.
And it was the classic story of parents going away, stealing the car, and getting into.
BTLC is Big Trouble in Little China.
Wow. We got that movie came out in enough time, eh? How things change in a week. The other movies he made after Risky Business were Deal of the Century, Men Don't Leave, True Crime, Uprising, and then Allison. So he really didn't go anywhere after this. But I think this was the first movies I might have saw boobies, but there was like...
Did you just say boobies?
Yeah.
Wow.
There were boobs back then. And it was sort of like
How old are you?
still serious. 45.
Okay, so you're 7 years older than me. So you were 7.
I was 8.
Gotcha. 8. Yeah.
All right. All right. I think
You're gonna be
I'm-
46
I
this
think
year.
I'm ready. You go first, though, Matt.
Okay, I'm ready. I had 8.6 to make and 32.7 at the box office.
Oh, wow. I said 13 to make and 65 at the box office.
Wow. It's so weird how you guys inverted because it cost 8.2 to make
Oh, bingo.
and it made 63.5 million.
Oh, my God.
Is that crazy?
Oh,
Isn't that
my
crazy?
God.
The tone, you guys
Wow,
almost hit the
wow,
fucking head on the nail on the
So I was 13
Budget
and
of the box office.
65. And what was it?
6.2 and 63.
Wow.
8.2, you said.
8.2, you said. Yeah.
No, 6.2.
Oh, it was even lower.
You said 8.2.
I said 8.6.
Yeah, well, you were still 2 off.
Gotcha,
It
gotcha.
was almost hitting the head of the nail. Way to go. And that's the movie game. That's the most exciting one as well. Do you guys want to know when Predestination did come out? Just in
If you
case?
want to do this blind now, I'm willing to do the blind, but not.
I'm just going to throw it out right now then. Fine. I'm going to say it
Year.
Yeah, do verbal, no writing down.
1997.
No,
Off the books.
2016.
Release date 2014.
Wow. I was fucking 10 miles off.
on that guess.
This
So-
is this is super interesting.
Budget box office, Matt.
Okay. Well, no. We got to write this down.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Okay,
Shoot it.
fine.
We're
I'm
Budget.
picking mine right now.
Okay, go. Yell it out.
15 million.
And?
Oh, I thought you were going to pick
his
yours.
brain doesn't work like that.
wanna
One thing
hear-
at a
What is-
time. One thing at a time.
15 and it made 42.
Okay, I'm going to say 7 and it made 4.
We have a winner. Oh my God. It cost $5 million to make. It made $5.4 million at the box office. That's crazy. I saw you in your face figure it out. Did I do anything?
No.
Did you read me?
No, I just figured in my head, I was like, this is a loser. I was like, this movie is a fucking...
I wonder if it's a loser though. I think it might be a really good movie. Just don't watch it.
Either way, I meant box office dud was what I.
They paid for the fucking catering. Unbelievable.
Terrible.
Nice.
That was a great movie game.
Nice. Got to win something.
We'll play the real movie game, and we'll start with Tom Cruise.
Vanilla Sky. That's such a dick move. Okay, I'll take it back. Okay,
I don't know who the girl is in that.
You don't?
Wow.
Oh, no, I do. It's Cameron Diaz.
Okay, there's something about Mary.
Ben Stiller.
Stiller. Let's go Zoolander.
Let's go with Owen Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah. Owen Wilson. Old school.
Ben Stiller. Or
This guy has
Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson, nice one. It's a really good one.
He's in a ton of
A
stuff.
ton of stuff.
Any Wes Anderson movie,
Yeah.
like throw a dart at the board.
Yellow, or what's their name?
Soda crap. Fire. No,
No, the blonde girl, Paltrow.
He has to say a movie.
it's the movie.
Well, any,
He had already decided what the Luke Wilson movie was in. No, I know he's in everything Luke Wilson, but I can't.
the Royal Tenenbaums.
Royal Tenenbaums,
Yeah.
but I lost it.
Yeah, he did. We're supposed to keep it up in the
You
air,
were supposed
Simon.
to say Vince Vaughn.
Okay, that mine.
You're
Old
supposed
school.
to say-
Old school. What do you say? Old school.
I said old school, yeah.
Mine was
Oh, no,
fine.
he's the lead, too.
Mine was fine.
No, you
Come
should have
on.
said Vince Vaughn.
No.
And I would have said Maid. Have you guys seen Maid?
Yeah, and
It's
we
the
would have
best.
said John Favreau.
And then,
And then that opens
Now
up
we're off to
whole
the races.
Marvel
the races,
universe.
of course. But you guys remember Maid?
Yeah, hilarious.
It's
movie.
hilarious. Vince Vaughn is the most annoying idiot in the world.
Yeah.
And only at the very end saves
Sweet
the day.
babies.
Oh, man.
No, that's Swingers.
Oh, that's what he's talking about. Swingers.
No,
I'm talking
he's
about
not
Maid. And Maid is
what he's talking
Maid
about.
is
That's
way
what you're talking
funnier.
about.
Maid is funnier than Swingers. Do you remember it?
Maid's
I
the
don't.
second movie.
Yeah, and John Favreau's a boxer, and Vince Vaughn's a boxer loser.
Oh, I don't remember. Maid.
And they work for the guy who from Columbo. And they're
The
trying
old dude?
to Peter Falk.
Yeah.
Just one more thing.
Yeah, that guy. But they're trying to be gangsters. And Vince Vaughn is the dumbest guy. He's like, so I get a gun. He's like, you don't need a gun. And oh my God, you guys haven't seen it.
It's crazy how John Favreau owns the world right now, eh?
Well, he entertains
That
the
guy
world.
has his hand in everything. Marvel, Star Wars.
Is he still in Marvel?
Yeah, dude,
Okay.
he's doing everything. He directs every movie. Everything that's good that comes out, John Favreau has a piece of it.
He'd be a great guest on
Oh, yeah.
Rogan. Maybe
Great.
he's been on.
No,
He has not.
neither
He-
has Vince Vaughn.
He was in it way back in Friends. Like from Swingers, he'd be a great get. John Favreau.
Yeah.
Oh, he's giant now, man. He's like balls deep in fucking Disney jizz.
Since we're still on Nate Bargatze here, can I also say this? This bothered me. They're talking about Patrice O'Neill. Nate clearly knows him personally, like has been in his car. They know each other super well. Joe obviously knows Patrice, has been in the same room with him how many times? What does Joe say? Have you seen the Patrice documentary? No, haven't gotten around to watching it. Joe, yeah, I'm going to have to force myself to watch it. What? What?
But what? You know you haven't seen it.
I've seen it.
No. Joe knows he has not seen it.
Well, why
so
bring
why
it
is
up?
he asking to Nate? Like, so what'd you think of it? I mean, I have no judgment, but just look, it just seems if he's seen it,
Yeah.
it was weird.
But also, how have you guys not seen it? Like, I would have thought you guys would have watched it right off. I don't know.
Well,
Just
you
sort of
know why
busy being
Joe
a fucking
hasn't
100
seen
millionaire?
it. Joe hasn't seen anything.
Okay,
Joe
touche.
probably still hasn't seen the one where the guy sleeps with both parents and kidnaps the girl for the aliens.
Abducted in
and-
plain
yeah.
sight. Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Joe still doesn't know who Brown is.
Darren Brown. Oh, he
Yeah,
still hasn't watched
still.
the push.
The push.
Still doesn't
push,
know.
the push.
It's like,
Oh my
I
God.
had this guy on the show, but I'm a busy guy. He's already been on.
If listeners haven't watched the push, stop listening right now and
Enjoy
go
the Patreon.
go watch Darren Brown's The Push. Find it. It's fucking incredible.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. It just seems like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Joe still wasn't watching stuff, but I'm not upset like you are with them for not watching it because I haven't seen it or I've seen half of it. Because I have to watch it on my phone. We've discussed this already.
They're comedians. It's their job.
Hold on. They knew the guy personally.
That too. If it was a thing about you, I would have watched it.
Joe watched a 4-part thing about the store because he loves the store. Like Patrice, I don't know. It seems odd.
If they're both in it, maybe that'd be different. But it's also crazy to think that Joe Rogan was Joe Rogan when Nate Bargatze was doing comedy like a couple weeks, and he got him on a show,
Yeah, that's weird.
and now he's back on the show. Like, I wish you could see his spirit and the joy inside his body at that moment. You know what I mean? And nothing but love for Nate Bargatze, but it must be so surreal.
Well, I don't think he had any memory of that until Nate told him about it.
Joe didn't know.
Yeah.
Joe's got spots for many people, but he didn't feel like that was a poignant moment in his life. But it was.
This is what I mean. Yeah.
His story about flyering outside of the Boston Comedy Club and being like, Dave Chappelle's, he's playing in there right
Sure,
now.
he's bud.
Yeah. No, literally, you can walk up the steps.
Yeah, okay,
and
but
look.
I know he did.
I think about those people every day.
You guys never watched, I don't think, that comedy show on Showtime, I'm Dying Up Here.
Yeah, I watched it all.
You watched it? Yeah. Well, you know, that focuses all on the Boston and how they're always flying. It was just like, it's such a real thing. That was back in the 70s.
What really
Or
bums
the 80s, rather.
Do you know what really bums me out is that, like, I lived in New York, had no friends, only went to school every second day. I could have easily just been down there, like, begging. Like, I would have flyered.
Yeah, you could have.
And I could have been around those dudes.
Could have, would have, should have.
Yeah, thanks, Kamar.
Good story, man.
What a piece of shit.
No,
What a
man.
fucking-
But you don't know that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but the point is I'm in the hub of hubs living there.
But for all the guys we hear, the Giannis and Papas, there's 2,000 that were funny and just it beat them up after the first year, whatever. Something bad happened. You still can do it too. You still can do it.
Well, that's okay. So that's on my next point that Nate brought up. He's
Get
like,
it at 40.
Yeah, you can either do it at 20 or at 40. And I also know this. If I had somehow pulled something off at 20, I'd be dead right now.
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
100%.
So you can't say what could have happened.
I'm going to take us to the top with this thing.
That's we're the only place we can go.
I can see Simon's judging eyes through the plastic.
He's playing with his beard, I think. They were talking about like the Godfather of comedy. You guys think you have an opinion on that?
Who is the Godfather of comedy?
As in, like, who is the...
Joe
like,
goes back to say
Joe.
it was Lenny Bruce was the Godfather
I
of
see.
freedom of speech comedy.
Yeah.
But his stuff wasn't that funny. It just didn't travel
Probably Carlin.
time
man.
well. And Joe says Carlin. And Eddie Murphy says it was Richard Pryor. Because the one thing I realized is Richard Pryor's way more than that, like, about myself. George Carlin, you don't ever know about him. Like,
That's true. That's a good point,
it's all observational, dead hilarious, amazing writing, and I think that too about Bill Hicks. You don't actually get to know that person, or you think you do by the jokes and stuff. But then you look at Eddie Murphy; it's about his drunk dad. Like that birth, that comedy used to be like, have you ever noticed? Yada yada yada. So I thought that was interesting, and I think it is Richard Pryor. Because he went so personal. Talk about when he lit himself on fire, freebasing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
think about someone doing that
You might be
today.
right. Yeah.
Louis barely could do it. And he's still going strong. I
Simon,
thought
you
it
have
was
no
interesting.
opinion on The Godfather, obviously.
You don't love comedy.
What?
No, he bigged up Miss Maple.
Yeah, no, I don't love Miss Maple. No, I mean, I have no idea, man. I haven't watched enough old comedy to really form an opinion on it, I guess.
Have you seen Richard Jenny, though?
I don't know if
I know you
have.
would. You would
You've seen
love
him for
his
sure.
comedy. He's like a Nate Bargatze.
Look up his photo right now, Simon. Richard Jenny. You'd be like, this guy I've seen for sure.
And it's so sad about him.
Yeah.
And the proliferation of material some of these guys have.
Yeah.
You try to put 5 minutes together. And he has an hour special and an hour in the bank.
Is it Richard Jennings or Richard Jenny?
Richard Jenny. Jennings is Peter Jennings. And
So it's Richard Jenny, like Jenney.
Yeah.
no, Jeni.
J-E-N-I.
They talked about the cartels.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that the other day.
I know who that is, yeah.
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 You know when you watch Narcos and stuff?
Yeah.
And your head goes, it used to be so crazy down there.
It's still so crazy.
No, it's the craziest today that's
Yeah, I
ever
was
been.
just going to say, my head goes to, it's way crazier right now. They hang them up naked with no head on the bridges, off the bridges.
But we were watching movies of 10 years ago. Their power was already out of control, and they're already uber violent. And it's like, wow, thank God that isn't like that. That's what my mind does. Like, it tells it's a lie. Like that's another time, and it isn't like that anymore. But it's the worst.
Yeah.
There was
Dude, you ask a journalist where is the most dangerous place in the world, and they'll tell you Mexico.
There was a reporter on the U.S. side for an hour and a half gun battle.
Yeah, that's fucked.
It's like crazier than the wars they're fighting, and I don't know.
Well, that scene, I know it's not real, but in what's that movie? you
Sicario?
love? Yeah, where they come up at the border,
Dude.
and you're just like, does this really happen?
That is
Like,
the most. That
is
might
this a
be the
thing?
most.
It does.
Intense.
I know.
10 minutes. That might be the most intense 10 minutes of film ever.
But the soundtrack is very intense. If you listen back to it on Sicario,
Of course, I know.
every scene you're like, "Wow,
I know.
my back is."
It's that like trumpety, like.
yeah, that's why it was.
If you play yakety sax over it, of course it loses its
You pay
fucking.
yakety sax over everything, it loses it.
But all those like things are real, like based on like
Yeah.
and it just blew my mind. And the only way, I guess they're saying Mexico is going to
They are
legalize
legalizing
marijuana.
marijuana. Someone hit me up this week and was like, "Are you going to try to invest in some like Mexican weed companies?" And I was like, "No." I feel like that would be the most dangerous investment ever.
Whatever one Slim Shady's a part of.
Eminem.
No, Guy Slim Fox, the richest man in
Slim Carlos.
Slim Carlos.
Jesus
What-
Christ.
Hey, we got
Slim Fox. We got there. It's okay. Yeah.
Sorry. I think they had a president who was Fox.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And anyways, whatever he's involved with, I think will be a safe bet. I mean, I'm sure he's not corrupt. The rest of Mexico might be. I just wonder if, just like people don't realize that there's aliens, do people not realize how bad Mexico is, or violent and crazy?
Well, yeah, it's all what
People
they say
don't
on
realize
the
too,
news.
Kamar, because they go and they vacation there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I know like
Today, even
Yeah.
though it's the worst it's ever been,
yeah.
it still functions.
My piece of shit cousin, his
Under the bus.
Well, it's because. Sorry, Matt, go ahead.
No, I was just saying his parents live in Mexico and he goes there like twice a year and spends time with them. So again, there's all these like white people that go and spend time there and are like, it's fine, it's safe. And then you're like, yeah, but
Well, no, it isn't every square inch.
I get it.
But any place you could be could all of a
be
sudden
it,
be a crazy
yeah.
war zone. But there's way high risk place. But obviously, someone was saying that they're using this opportunity to get way more fentanyl through. Like disasters are when black market and criminals thrive.
that's why
COVID
This
is
was
what
my
I'm
biggest thing with the wall, as I was like, if you build that wall, the shittiest of people still find a way in, and then it's only the shittiest of people, right?
I was gonna say this for the post show.
Just less people, Matt, is the point.
But I don't think it is. Like
But it definitely is less people. It's the really dedicated people who get over at that point, not just the
yeah, but the
willy-nillys.
really dedicated ones are the worst of the worst because they're backed by. That's my only point.
Can't
not
even
saying-
grasp how long that border is.
I'm not saying if it.
I can grasp
it's
how
just
long
a
it
So
is.
many
numbers
spaces to
game.
go through.
I understand.
I was gonna say this for post show, but Biden has now imposed a media blackout.
What does that mean?
He doesn't want any more news coverage. Like it's
Period. There's no more news.
of,
News
no,
is over.
No, of migrants at the border.
Oh, I see.
Of course not, because he's locking up kids.
And no, Trump's there like, I could have just done that. Listen to their shit.
That's not good. When they're giving you a blackout.
Like Bush.
Not what you
That's
wanna
what George
hear.
Bush did. He didn't want any more death tolls.
I'm sure that's what Cheney wanted.
Or Cheney. Yeah, fair enough. No, but I bet that's the one thing Bush did is like, I don't want to hear about it anymore. It's like, well, Mr. President, legally, we can do a
They're all
blackout.
calling me a murderer. We gotta make this stop.
I've done 10 lines of cocaine tonight, and I still see the news.
I just, again,
2-3 more.
it's to beat a dead horse.
Whole 8 ball.
The only way to cure it is
Total destruction.
No,
from
legalizing drugs.
inside. Oh,
Yeah,
prohibition
legalizing
is the problem.
they need the aliens. That's all there is.
We have the aliens and nothing happened.
No, it hasn't come out yet.
He talked about the hang after how valuable and important that is. When performing, when you are nobody, like you have
Yeah.
to be funny with just people, and that's really sad that on top of comedy is gone. I took it for granted.
Currently,
you know what I mean?
it's gone
Well, it's been gone, and
for a year, like everything
it'll
else.
come back. Like maybe I don't know.
sure
but
it will.
Right now, the shows are going on,
Yeah, I get it.
but the thing has to close so early. There's no after, so
Well,
it's
now
a different
that the
beast.
patios are open, you can congregate outside.
Yeah, if you want to perform outside, but it's a different beast without that component.
No, to hang. Come on, to hang.
outside after the show. Well, no, just everything's closed. But yeah, in the summer, we'll see.
I don't think you got. Yeah,
all
I got you, Simon. It's
all
okay.
good.
All right, well, let's rate Nate because we got to take a break and we got to move on.
Yep.
So let's start with Simon.
Great episode. I give it a 4. It was my 4.
Kamar?
There was a little bit of COVID and diet fighting talk that Nate didn't have to engage in, and I give it a 3.8.
I give it a 4.5. I fucking love. I laughed so hard so many times in this episode. This was the perfect.
Joe laughed so many times during this episode, and that's how you know it's a good episode, when you get belly laughs from Joe.
Joe was dying. And again, the whole time I was thinking, like, how has this guy not been on 6 times? Like, Tom Papa's on all the time.
I bet you Joe's never even watched this comedy before.
I just think, well, he saw them one time, but I think he's just been hustling.
Yeah,
He's
I mean,
been
good for him.
stuff-
He's got his own
stuff to
podcast,
do,
and he's
stuff to do.
that's
I'm
fine.
I'm right about the Luis J. Gomez thing.
Okay,
That's my my
Oh, your theory.
stance, yeah.
yeah.
And my last thing is he told the funny ponytail story. And Joe stepped on the punchline, but that was so funny. Can you imagine? 5 minutes, Bob. I used to have a ponytail.
I don't remember that.
Well, it's just the dangers of making jokes about something like a ponytail or something that could not be there. And then the guy cut his ponytail,
right.
said I still
Yeah,
have
gotcha.
material.
Gotcha.
And then he bombed. He was like, hey guys, I used to have a ponytail. Try to bring it all back.
Got it.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to pay a bill, and we'll be right back. Guys, this episode of the podcast is brought to you by The New Paper. If you're like me, you are probably looking for a fact-first news update. Even better would be if it was every day. Even better would be if it weren't full of polarizing nonsense and noise like the rest of the media. Well, the good news is I found The New Paper. The New Paper is a fact-first news briefing delivered once a day via text message. They lead with stories that are straightforward and fact-first, not secondary conclusions, sensational headlines, or opinions. Now again, they deliver this via text. So they have your number, they will text you once a day, and you will get an update that keeps you informed and stops from becoming intrusive. It's fast, it's informative, it's convenient, and it will keep you connected to the world. It's pretty simple. Every day you get a text. There's like 10 topics on there or talking points. They give you a little synopsis of each, and then at the bottom, there is a hyperlink that will connect you to an unbiased, opinion-based article, which if you want, you can continue to read further if it interests you. I think it's super convenient. I love it. I use it every day. And the good news is if you're a listener of this show, they're offering you a free 7-day trial. That's right, totally free of charge. If you want to check them out, head over to thenewpaper.co/Rogan. That's thenewpaper.co/Rogan. And you will get 7 free days on us. No strings attached, guys. 7 free days. Try them out. The New Paper. It is the best and most innovative way to get the news today. Thank you so much to The New Paper. Go check them out. That's thenewpaper.co/ROGAN for your free 7-day trial. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you to our sponsor, The New Paper.
Not the old papers, the new papers.
Shout outs. Go check them out. Name and a number, Kamar.
1620
Jim Breuer.
Jim Breuer.
Before we get going on Brewer, has anybody watched The Stand?
The Stand.
Act like you don't know,
Oh,
Matt.
no. Listen, I forgot to hit the
Is that
record
the- is
button.
that
We
the-
just did like a half hour of great
Is that the
content.
new Stephen King movie?
It doesn't matter. Just
It's- no.
let's get back on topic here, and we'll.
No, we'll have to get through. We'll just skim over faster and won't be as in depth.
But they deserve this. Matt.
Yeah, they do.
The
'cause
people deserve this.
When you said Stand, I went Green Mile.
No, The Stand is the like apocalyptic.
Oh no, I know it's not. But doesn't Stephen King do The Stand?
Yes.
Did Stephen King do Green Mile?
He
Correct.
did, yeah.
Do you remember who the horrible criminal in Green Mile is?
No.
Sam Rockwell.
Really?
Yeah.
Remember, he's a Billy, like the crazy. He's so. I can't believe that guy ever did another.
I
acting
don't really
role.
remember Green Mile. That's the one with the big dude
Michael
who can
Clark
bring the
Duncan,
mice
yeah.
Rest in
back to
power.
life.
Yeah,
whole
and the
thing.
other
Yeah.
and the electric chair without the sponge.
It's so weird that Shawshank is a Stephen King book.
It's a short story, actually.
Sure, I'm sorry, but
That's actually a great pull. I'd like to see on this as well.
Shawshank. That's a movie we've never done.
No, Stephen King as a guest.
Oh
But-
yeah,
but Shawshank-
that has to happen. Like That has to happen.
Joe enjoys
Joe
his
has
work.
given him so much free fucking plug on.
Well, the
his
best
show.
too is that Stephen King could just sit there, have a conversation, finish a novel, twofer.
right there in the
That's
studio. Sorry, Joe. Let me
Yeah,
just
sorry,
finish
Joe.
this chapter.
I just edited an entire book.
I would like him if he asked him just about his debaucherous years, but I'm sure he doesn't remember.
The cocaine years.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was your guys, just before we get started on Breuer, what was your favorite Stephen King book and then show? Like, have you read any Stephen King?
Yeah.
I've told you many times, my favorite book is the one of short stories with the hand. I think it's called The Night Shift. And there's a hand with a bandage on it. It's all got eyes.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of short stories and they're awesome.
And the movie?
Favorite or scared me the most?
Tell me the one you like the best.
Wow. This fucking
Christine.
guy.
Christine, interesting. Matt?
I think it was Pet Cemetery on both.
Okay.
That was like the first one I read, and then I watched the movie.
Yeah, Pet Cemetery as a movie really fucked me up as a kid.
Oh, for sure.
Because I had pet, so that
Yeah,
was a whole
like fucked
thing.
up. That was it.
The book that I think impacted me the most was Rage. It's Stephen, or when he was Richard Bachman as his alias, and
Yeah.
it was 4 short stories, and Rage was one where a kid takes over his class as hostages with a gun.
Oh, that can't be made
Yeah,
anymore.
it was well before all of that too, though. You know what I'm saying? It was. I think he wrote it in the 70s.
Oh, that can't be made. Yeah,
So
that's
it's crazy. Anyways,
Wow.
and yeah, I liked Pet Cemetery a lot, and The Shining obviously was great. But
Yeah.
Shawshank, I think, is my favorite adaptation of anything he's ever done. that movie was
I'm
incredible.
pleading ignorance because Misery was a really good movie.
Oh,
too.
Misery
Misery
was
was
so
great.
good.
Yeah.
Misery is
I
such
need to
a
see
good
all of it in
book.
front of me, and maybe I can make a
Dude,
decision.
Misery is such a good book.
James
you're right,
Caan
'cause-
was such good casting, and Kathy, like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
tough, man.
Okay, let's get
But
to Breuer.
Shawshank,
Oh,
though,
sorry.
that's a top 5 film for me.
Top
Of
5
all
film
time.
of all time.
Of all time, yeah.
Did it win an Oscar? It better have won Best Picture. No, it got
I'm looking it up.
robbed
I'm looking it up.
by
Go
Shakespeare
on a
in
rant.
Love, I bet.
No, that was Goodfellas.
No, Goodfellas got robbed by Dances with Wolves.
So it might have been Dances with Wolves that robbed it that same year then. No, Shakespeare in Love robbed a whole bunch of shit, actually.
Yeah, Simon's right. It did rob a bunch of shit. But 1994.
7 nominations. I don't think it won though.
All right. Jim Breuer.
Yeah,
No
Jim
nominations.
Breuer. It had to have been nominated for something.
No,
Get the
no.
fuck.
Jim Breuer had no nominations.
Yeah, Jim Breuer,
He
0
received
nominations.
multiple award nominations, including 7 Academy Award nominations,
But no win.
but it says no wins.
Oh, that sucks.
That's good radio.
Yeah.
Did you guys know Judas Priest was gay? A gay band?
No.
I did not either.
I did not when I was a kid.
I just thought they were scary, and I think anyone who does heavy metals were like bullies. Did you think that when you were a little kid?
Yeah, I don't know.
If you were into heavy metal or you did heavy metal, you were a mean
Was
bully.
Judas Priest heavy metal? I always kind of associated them with like Morrissey and that kind of vibe.
Morrissey. Whoa.
I
No,
don't
no.
know. I never listened to Judas
They were
Priest. I don't
British
know.
thrash metal. I'd
Oh,
go so far
really?
to say,
Okay.
yeah,
There
with
you
with
go.
screeching. Rob Halford like screams,
Okay, wow.
and they were either like D&D or bullies. You know what I mean? Like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Metallica. I think is the best name for a heavy metal band.
See, for me, it was, I guess I grew up, like, when I started growing up, a lot of those dudes were like Dungeons and Dragons.
Heavy metal is it's losers. Well, whatever
I
you
thought
do.
Judas Priest was more like Jane's Addiction. Like, what's that guy's name?
Perry Farrell.
No, man. They're more like AC/DC.
Take it easy.
Yeah, he is.
No.
All
He is
fucking
fired up
crazy.
about Judas Priest.
You know who loves heavy metal?
Go on.
Jim Breuer.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, he toured with Metallica.
He's a crazy metalhead.
And I was just saying, what do you think the best name for a band is?
Upstream,
metal band, a metal
Upstream
band.
Basket Baby. Simon and I's
No,
fucking.
one that exists
Oh.
though, Kamar.
I think Metallica is the name. I don't even know
Metallica.
what that's a play on.
Megadeth is
terrible.
pretty fucking. What are you talking about?
Megadeth, I think you'd think though that's
Slayer.
Slayer.
Metallica
That's
doesn't even
almost
make
death
any
metal.
sense.
Yeah, I don't.
Exactly. It's a word that doesn't exist. All these other ones are pretty much words that exist.
It's my least favorite of them all, I gotta say, Kamar. And I hate Metallica. I hate them.
What about Lamb of God? That's a really heavy metal name
But
band.
Anthrax.
Anthrax, they were good.
Primus.
Primus is not heavy metal.
I consider Primus
Panteus.
country.
Pantera heavy metal.
Pantera.
And then they skirt the line of rock heavy metal. Like Guns N' Roses is more a rock band than heavy metal.
Yeah.
And like Skid Row, that's all rock.
Can we go back to
not-
Primus for a second? They had the best videos of all time.
Yes.
Really?
Dude, of course.
What about Gwar?
Gwar was
Heavy
the
metal?
worst. Definitely heavy metal, though.
Dude, you know who had crazy videos was Slipknot. That was a fucking crazy
Heavy
weird band.
I think they're past heavy metal.
they're like thrash metal,
That's
right?
where they're more of a thrash
But
metal.
they were
I give them.
hardcore.
But wearing all those weird masks and
They were
shit.
scary.
They were a scary band.
Marilyn
They were
Manson.
a scary band.
They were scary. Marilyn Manson, heavy metal.
They were scary. Marilyn Manson, yeah. Ish. I don't know. I hate his music.
Wasn't that like electronica metal or some sort of weird fucking
Not in the beginning. I think it was just hard rock or like goth rock.
White Zombie?
White Zombie, I think heavy metal. I think that's
Yeah.
definitely heavy metal. New wave metal maybe. And I think Nirvana
Megadeth.
Was
That's a
the-
great name.
that's what
Nirvana was grunge.
But that was a combination of emo and heavy metal because the music slap sort of. That was a point. I've got to bring it up. Did you guys like Oasis?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the best story is they were the last biggest rock band in
But
the world.
fuck both the Gallaghers.
I don't know. So
Oh, no. Fuck
Noel
both of them.
Gallagher's at a party in LA
Yeah.
and he runs this guy and the guy's like, man, I love your band. You guys are the best. Because of you, I got inspired and I started a band. And Noel's like, oh, right. What's the name of your band? And he goes, Maroon 5. It's Adam Levine. And he goes, your band is fucking shite. You're the worst fucking band in the world. You shouldn't even be doing music. What are you even doing here? You're the worst, mate. And he goes off for the night, cocaine, drinking over. Runs in the guy a couple hours later, goes, mate, what the fuck are you doing here? He goes, it's my house.
That's hilarious.
He's still a piece of shit.
They're pieces of shit, but if you listen to their songs, they say fucking nothing.
No,
Yeah,
but it
of
sounds
course.
real good.
But it sounds great, man. And they hate each other. They're going to get them back together. Anyways.
The skateboard community hates one of the Gallaghers. Hates.
Because he,
Do you remember he came out on TMZ and he was like, it's like a skateboarder. You never see them land anything or whatever the fuck his stupid
They were
fucking
the
accent.
best.
Fuck him.
Maybe I'm a little too rock and roll for Noel. Maybe I like to stay up late and miss a gig.
Whatever.
Oh, man. Anyways.
Are you a Radiohead fan?
Yes, but not as much as Oasis.
You're a bigger Oasis fan than Radiohead. Wow.
They have more of a... Radiohead has great songs, but Oasis just was like the band that was just the biggest rock band in the world.
I really
they
like
haven't like 2 years.
two Radiohead songs.
Which ones?
Creep and the other one that I like even better, but I can't remember.
High and Dry's Class.
Simon, these two little German girls did a version of Creep on the German kid's voice. It'll bring a tear to your eye.
Oh, yeah? The other song has a great hook. It's, shit. You know what song I'm talking about. Like, the lyrics don't make any sense. You can't
That's
understand
every
the word he's
single
saying.
Radiohead
Paranoid
song
Android.
ever written.
No, I'll tell you.
Do you guys have your ears pierced?
No, not me. My mom wouldn't let me.
Oh, so you wanted to?
Yeah, but my mom was like, "You will regret this later on."
We've done
Trust
this
me.
already. Oh,
Well, yeah.
we did this already. Right.
What a fucking
Deja vu.
wrong with
Haven't
this
I
guy?
seen you before?
What is wrong with this guy?
Sorry.
When you wanted to get your nails done,
My nails done. No, I got my nails done for
so
sure.
when you want to get your ear
Every
or
week.
ears pierced,
Yeah,
you
Karma
which was
Police.
I wanted to get. I think my left one pierced because that was the non.
it? It was only one ear.
Yeah,
Because Simon, have you ever had your ears pierced?
Karma Police. I just have to spit that out.
Karma
Sorry.
Police.
Karma,
there you
please.
go,
Yeah, this is what you get.
That's my favorite one. Yeah, this
When
is
you
what
mess with the
get
Karma
when you
Police.
mess with us. Yeah, great hook.
Great song.
What were you asking me? Ears pierced. I had both my ears pierced.
You were allowed to get, and you went. I'm having two at the same time.
Well, I got it done like after high school, and if I had come home like that when I lived at home, my dad would have given me a really hard time.
Would he beat you with a belt?
No.
Okay, there's a lot of harder times we had.
Well, I didn't say I had the hardest time ever, Kamar. I didn't say, like, I wasn't comparing myself to other people's struggles.
I'm calling back to Clarrisa Shields. That's all. I had my ears pierced, but you got studs, right? When they pierce your ears right off
You
the bat.
have to right off the start.
You don't have to, but it's responsible to you if you don't want your ears to fall off.
Yeah, I got studs,
And then you got some nice hoops.
and I got nice hoops.
Were they big or did they just sort of cling to the
They
lobe?
were like, I had different size ones, but whatever. My son pierced his own ears. so he could have diamonds in them.
Get out. But
Wow.
Cubic zirconium, or does he got some actual diamonds?
Where
They're
the fuck
Jews. Of course
would
they
he
have
get
diamonds.
diamonds from?
From your little pouch.
So he wanted.
From my diamond pouch. Fuck you. No, and both his ears got infected. It was so gross.
that's
man.
terrible.
He wanted to look like Terrell Owens.
He likes that look.
Want to look like Terrell Owens.
I think more people than just Terrell Owens have their ears.
I was gonna say that's such a weird
big,
pull.
Giant diamonds in
all
ears.
I'm sure, Kamar, all your heroes have their ears pierced with diamonds. All your little rapper boys, all your dudes with the face tattoos, all have diamond earrings.
That's interesting.
Your whole clan.
I want to go through pictures and look it up.
If you
He's
could get
probably
your
right,
face
now that I'm
tattooed,
thinking
would you,
about it.
Kamar?
Face tattooed?
Yeah. I mean, you can.
No, if I'm a fucking super villain rapper, yeah, of course I would.
How about this, Kamar? Just right now, you have $20 million in the bank. Do you have any desire to get a face
Yeah.
tattoo?
Okay,
I have
better
no
question.
point not getting a face tattoo. I have no qualm with it. If it hit me, I'd have
No, but what I'm
problem with it.
asking
If
though
I
is,
had 20
do
million
you?
in the
No,
bank-
what I'm asking is, if you have 20 million, do you specifically like? If you have no cares in the world, is there a tattoo you want to get on your face?
Yeah.
That's the
Okay,
question.
Because that's the right question, because a face tattoo is going to stop you from making money.
Except for all the guys with-
probably getting like a job.
I don't have to worry anymore because I'm almost
Out in
my
the
own
public.
boss. But I could get a face tattoo. It would affect you though if you go up to in 10 years from now. It won't.
Well, this is what I was going to say though. Is at your age, it definitely affects you. If you're like 22, you get more of a pass.
Right.
I
Okay.
guess.
And it's being a 6-year-old and seeing there's people with face tattoos. Like
Yeah,
when
of
I was a
course,
kid, if you got a tattoo, you were a sailor or got out of jail.
Yeah, you had killed someone in jail.
It's just something.
But even then, too, it was also when we were growing up, like nothing above the neckline, nothing on the hands ever.
That was
Because
that
you
was the
couldn't
rule.
Get a retail job.
That was
You couldn't get
crossing
any
over.
job
Yeah.
realistically, anything in an office either. Like offices weren't going to hire you if you had a
Right.
fucking neck tattoo. Get the
Right.
fuck out of here.
And when I see 20-year-olds covered in face tattoos, I'm like, wow, that's ambitious. Like,
Yeah.
you're really putting all your eggs in the basket that you're going to be some sort of rock star.
It's almost weird though. You see these kids with nothing on their chest and their whole neck is tattooed. And you're like, what? And then their head, the top of their hands, like,
and that is something that, as an older person, I can't believe I just said that, but I will never understand that. Like, I just won't get it.
yeah. I mean, again, that's the progression of shit.
That's just what it sounds like to be a grumpy old man, much like Jim Breuer.
And again, we owe that to Tekashi. That's the Tekashi effect.
Or Mike Tyson. I think he was the first, like, what the fuck? You got
Well,
a
Mike
face
Tyson
tattoo? Like,
just looked-
you can do that, so let's that happen.
You looked at that as a breakdown of epic proportions.
Yeah, it was like when Britney
he
shaved her
went
head.
Crazy, yeah.
But even then, you were like, that shit'll grow back. With Mike Tyson, you were like, that's wow, Mike.
Wow, yeah, well, out there. I didn't
That's
know
out
people
there.
did that.
Yeah.
That's public. Yeah.
And he just became the butt of so many jokes because of that tattoo.
Like you have a tattoo. Imagine the pain of a face or neck tattoo.
I wonder. I guess so.
It's got to be immense.
But I saw
Immense.
a guy who, Yellow, is it Yellow Wolf?
Yellow Wolf, yeah.
He's covered. He's
Yeah,
got
he's
tattoos.
head to toe, yeah.
But the guy he has, his whole head is a dog's, and to here and here is fangs. So it looks like a dog is biting his head. And he can't be over 24 years old. I was like,
No, Yellow Wolf's probably 30
no,
now.
Yellow Wolf does a song with this guy. I'm
Gotcha,
sorry. I'm
okay,
forgetting
my
his-
apologies.
He's a feature, I believe.
Okay.
But he's put them all in the basket. Like, it'll be interesting to see these people covered in tattoos. If they get fat, if they get wrinkly skin, like what happens down the road, because it's relatively new. Like, who's the oldest person with a face tattoo besides like Maoris or so the Islander things who? That's what I think Joe Rogan. Mike Tyson's more indicative of. So he threw Barry Katz under the bus.
Yes, he did.
Secondhand Lamborghini,
I mean, in general, he threw SNL under the bus, I'd say.
but he didn't name names. And
No.
I thought he could have. I wish he'd gone for it. I wish he was had that much of no fucks given that he just started saying, and so is this, because it sounded like a horrible work environment. It makes it almost.
But my question is, does
taken SNL.
like whenever you hear someone like that, when they're like, everyone that leaves hates it, do you think it's actually that, or do you think that's the one, like,
Well, the problem is Phil Hartman.
yeah, but Phil was miserable in life. right? So that's a tough pull as well.
I don't know. I heard
his-
Joe say he was miserable at SNL and then came over to news radio and was like, "This is amazing."
No,
Yeah, but
because his wife, he was still all that stuff with his wife going on. Like
That's where I'm at, is
yeah.
that with his wife, he was miserable anyway. So it's a tough gauge of like, if your home life sucks, there's no way you're going to leave. I would agree that maybe he left SNL and was like, this is a better work environment and I feel a bit better. But I mean, I don't know. But maybe you're right,
Do you
Kumar.
think he's a jilted employee?
I don't know. That's,
Like, you know
that's the
you know
question
what
I'm
I mean?
asking is,
I
because
think he's legitimate, even though he's crazy. Well, not crazy, but
I mean, I would want to hear. The thing is I've never heard any other ex-cast member. I mean, he said that like Sandler said the same thing. I've just never heard any of these interviews, so I'd have to, because like
opinionated.
I've heard rumors though that Saturday Night Live is a horrible work environment built on nothing but like people competing hand and fist against each other, and it's not.
well, that's
conducive
exactly what
to
he made it.
anything.
Yeah, that's
So,
what he made it seem like, and
I
it
mean,
sounded awful.
I would believe that in a second. You know what? I choose to believe that.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know
we're
any
back on
differently,
board.
and
We're
I
back
choose
on
to
board.
believe that.
There we go. Okay.
And I would just say that Lorne Michaels is a better friend than enemy
to him.
to anyone. Like,
Oh, for sure. He seems like a spiteful motherfucker.
he said SNL sucked, but Lorne was good to me, and he is SNL. So I don't know what it was, but growing up, I thought it was super fun, but it's super competitive, and because Jay Moore was on that,
Yep.
and you guys have heard
he's
Brett,
bred for that.
Bert Kreischer's story.
Well, I've heard multiple
We
stories about
talked
Jay
about
Moore.
this last week.
It was a couple weeks ago, but that made you dislike Jay Moore, eh?
It didn't help with me liking Jay. I used to love Jay Moore when he was on Romy, when he'd take over a couple of times a
When he
year.
was Sugar Bob or whatever.
He was so funny.
He's best friends with Barry Katz.
You really have it in for Barry Katz.
No, it just
eh?
brings it all around. That was a perfect, that filled the whole thing. No,
Hey, Kay, we're going to not talk for 3 minutes, and you can just badmouth Barry Katz. Go for it.
I bet you Chappelle has a lot of bad things to say about Barry Katz. He screwed a lot of people, man.
How come Breuer didn't mention like any time with Chappelle? Are they in some sort of beef?
Well, that's what Kamara
That's
was.
what we were
Kamara
wondering.
alluded to that when I didn't press record earlier.
We're recording now,
I-
Matt?
Yeah, I double checked again. I'm like,
I thought it got there, but I don't think Jim speaks out of school. And I hope inside they have a reputable, or what's it called when you're in good standing with each other? Relationship?
Yeah. We'll go with what you said.
Commiserative? No.
Doesn't matter.
it's fine.
Help me. You
I
know
just,
the word?
I know.
It's fine.
I'm
Just move on.
He didn't mention him. I thought it was interesting when he was talking about all the placebo, nocebo stuff, and he was saying people were healing by seeing people instead of being separated, isolated. And I thought there was a great truth that there's something more than just health or science.
Well, the nocebo one was weird because the person took the drug and then in their head thought the drug was killing them and was like having an episode. And then they went to they called the doctor of the person that administered this like clinical trial. And the doc like looked up the numbers and was like, this guy's on the placebo. And the second they told him that, all of a sudden he was like, oh yeah, no, my heart, I'm starting to feel a lot better.
So that's like almost like a literal mind over matter.
Well, we know you can make yourself sick.
Yeah. So that's
You
the
can
thing too.
Stress yourself out into sickness. There's no doubt about that. That's a fact.
Yeah, so yeah, there's people that could be fine taking a vaccine, but could go not wanting it, go get it, and then just make themselves.
Or take the vaccine and convince themselves they're sick.
That's
This
what.
can
That's my
happen.
point. Yeah.
So you can make yourself well, conceivably.
No, those are two totally different things, though.
Well, hold on, but I think you can this is the thing, Kamar. What Jim Breuer does is a little bit dangerous because I think there's certain things where there's just nothing more they can do, and I think you're ridiculous to think well, if we all just sit around and be positive and take them off life support, it'll turn around. That's not.
I don't know.
But wait, there's a difference, Kamar, between those two things, between making yourself better
With
and
positive
making
thinking.
yourself sick
With negative
negative thinking. Just because those are opposites doesn't mean they're you can do both.
You can't prove it otherwise. It's possible that you could think yourself
Listen,
out of cancer, I'm sure.
It is totally possible, but there are definitely way more people who make themselves sick than who make themselves better. So the making yourself better is a much harder process, obviously.
We also know though that correlation doesn't equal causation. So you could, for example, get cancer and just like you could in your mind be like, okay, I'm just going to stay positive, and you stay positive throughout, and then maybe your body just naturally rejects the cancer. It has nothing to do with your mind or your positive outlook. You just have the kind of body that you know what I mean? Like it's not always. I agree with you though. Kumar, I agree that being positive about everything is probably going to do you better than.
I agree with that too.
And I think the easiest environment for you to be positive is to have contact with loved ones.
That's probably also true, unless you hate your
It's
family.
easier to facilitate unless you hate your family, and then they can be the reason why you died. I just thought like he's obviously anti-COVID, anti-mask. Like I thought he sort of pumped the brakes and sort of kept it reasonable to go too off in this episode, even though he gets so excited.
It seemed like he went off enough
like
times.
people who live alone through this, that must have been tough. Sorry, Matt, just to jump backwards for a second. Like, in all fairness to what Kamar's saying, you live with roommates, but maybe not people you're close to. I live with my family. Matt lives with his roommate. Like we all,
what the fuck?
We have people, right?
It's a guy named Gary.
People who are actually living alone. That's like a whole different story.
I want to know. I'm worried about the people who are actually alone. Because maybe you've been alone this whole time, but you're texting with people all the time and zooming and having some sort of contact.
Yeah.
But people have just been solitary.
Well, and that's...
I mean, but I want to say this
unless you like that.
But we often talk about how people that can disconnect and be away from all the shit are better off mentally anyway. So in a way, you're kind of contradicting one of or some of our former points that we've always said, like, if you're capable of disconnecting and just like being away from it all, you might be better off.
Maybe
that's away from technology, but not from
no. I think that applies to this too, because he was talking about COVID. Is that they're telling us the best thing for this is isolation, and that's totally counterintuitive to human nature.
Well, yeah, we're all supposed to be. Yeah, you're supposed to have some sort of contact. I believe that. Listen, I believe that. I'm just saying, Kumar, like he made it seem like there's some like overlying, like every doctor and nurse is trying to kill people.
Oh, no, he's a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, obviously.
He didn't even get into 9/11.
And I usually shit on video games and social media and things like that, but I guess in situations like this, without it, you would have a lot of people with a lot less contact from each other, right? So, again, I don't know what that means.
I thought he just lost a bit of credibility when he messed up the McGregor-Diaz fight.
Mendez.
Because what was cool about it is he got it totally wrong, but he was totally there. You know, it's like
he had video of it.
Well, that's insane that Jamie pulls it up and Jim goes, "Can you send that to me?" He didn't even have it anymore. Like
he's a bitter old man. But that was a perfect callback because like, are you making this up? Because he's so over the top. You could think he's doing some crazy story. You could, but then he shows the video. So it's Mendez. So it was an honest mistake.
Well, I mean,
nobody should go on Joe Rogan and lie. That's a bad idea.
Well, now it'd be very difficult to say he did something. If
not in this day and age.
Video evidence of it, but that has happened to Joe before.
Yeah, I mean, it must. Like, you know the Oprah book club there? She had...
Yeah, A Million Little Fibers.
That's not what it was called.
No, it was called A Million Little Pieces. Okay. A Million Little Fibers was the South Park Towley takeoff.
Gotcha.
My bad.
Gotcha. Yeah, that guy got in big trouble, right? Was it Nicholas Sparks? No.
I don't know his name.
Anyways, like, has that happened on Rogan besides Chris Kressler?
There was, I think it's Dave Asprey a long time ago.
The Bulletproof Coffee guy?
Bulletproof Coffee. Something went
Chris Kressler.
Wrong there. Chris
whose
Kressler
name has never been mentioned since, by the by.
Chris Kressler is...
Well, he got choked out by the...
No, he didn't.
A chiropractor?
It was a joke. I was saying he got choked out verbally by the fucking bald...
Right, yeah.
What was that guy's name?
James, whatever his name is.
And I mean, I wonder. Joe's been wrong about things before, but there's only one time when he came out and did a public service announcement to.
Yeah, he's wrong about Bigfoot all the time. He doesn't come out and make videos about it, apologizing to the Bigfoot community. It was who he was scared of. Joe was scared of somebody.
Breuer's an amazing impressionist.
The liberals.
His Lorne Michaels is really good.
I think everything he does is spot on. Like he does his range.
Yeah.
Do you think he wanted to stir the pot with his gender talk?
I think he wanted Joe to agree with him that the universities had gone crazy, and we'll we had a huge conversation about this, but the the big point of it,
Now we're coming back to where we were at,
Yeah.
really. Well, we added a ton there.
I think I've done it good well and keep it in.
but
It's a recreation.
I think this was a
Reenactment.
very personal situation where his daughter went to a very progressive school of some sort. She came home. They had tried to have a conversation. She probably called him a bigot or something to make the conversation end, and he's enraged about it. That's my theory.
But if he doesn't pay a dime, she does it on her own, goes to university, is it a different conversation?
I mean, I still think he's aggravated, but yeah, it's a different conversation. I think this was like a dad being talked down to by his kid who he's paying, and she's just in school for a year and blah, blah, blah.
Can you imagine that as a possibility, Simon?
This is so weird. I would get angry, Kamar, because I would feel away for the kids the way Jim Breuer felt when his daughter called him.
To this day, though,
Which I'm not sure happened, allegedly.
has your son ever spoken to you a condescending thing, like maybe about video games?
My son talks to me condescendingly all the time.
I thought he said it never happened.
No, I knew exactly where this was going.
Halima and I were just
100%.
talking the other day about if I talk to my dad the way my kids talk to me.
Yeah.
But it's just so different now. And I am like,
Oh my goodness.
we're way closer to our kids in that way than I was with my parents.
That they
Like,
just insult you and call you
No,
stupid all the
just
time.
that-
You're like, yeah, you're right. I love you.
we feel like we watch the same stuff. Everything's
Shared
just
experience.
more condensed now, I find, if that makes sense.
because of this last year, or just
No,
in general?
just in general. But this last year also had a huge impact on it. Like we did more things together.
You guys realize you're all you have.
So I just opened myself up for more ridicule, obviously, because they see more things I'm fucking totally clueless on in their modern world.
Makes sense.
Yeah, David Bowie.
Dude, when my dad was mad, if he just took 2 aggressive steps, that was enough. You were just like, I gotta go.
But you ever talk down to your, like, explain rap or something? You know what I mean? Like, there's something that you're an older person, they don't know, and you speak like, you think you know everything because you know there's one thing they don't know about. And you talk to them like they gotta know something.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah.
That made him feel away.
I try and tell my kids about cool things, and they often will look at me like I'm just totally insane.
And then Jim made the mistake of Oprah.
Fuck you too.
No, it's in the same vein. Jim made the point about wanting to hunt, and he didn't know who he was messing with.
Joe was almost like offended.
Well, because
When
he doesn't
Jim
listen
was-
to the show.
When Jim was just like,
No,
I
that
could just
supports. I said at the beginning, or maybe it was the last rendition of this.
yeah.
I don't think he listens to Joe Rogan.
Sorry, go ahead, Matt.
No, on this one, you're probably right then, yeah, because Joe really seemed like insulted.
You can't just hunt.
Yeah.
Like he's the expert hunter. But I think he was saying out of like, you'll fuck yourself up if you just get a gun and go up the woods. Like you're putting yourself at risk.
I think Joe's point was more just like, you're not going to get anything.
Well, and I think Joe was also pointing out to Flabby Jim that you're not just going to get out there and start shooting things. You better get in shape.
On a motorcycle, looking for the deer.
Playing Metallica,
But then Joe made an interesting point because I believe Jim's intention was he thinks this thing could all go belly up still. You know what I mean? You know how the gun sales went up, bullets went up. But when the shit hits a fan, is not the time to learn how to hunt.
Well, yeah, that's a really good point, though. And I have two minds about this. One is, yes, we probably should all learn how to hunt before we need to learn how to hunt and things like that. Know how to fix your car, know how to siphon gas from another car, know how to do all those things that you may need to know in an apocalypse.
You don't know how to siphon gas?
I'll figure it out. But that's my point.
When they're running down the street, shooting at my head.
Listen, this is exactly my point, Kamar, is I agree. We probably should know all of this in advance, but I also think that the pressure of the situation will force us to do and learn things that we didn't think we knew, but we do know because we saw on a TV show, and it's all going to come flooding back when you need it. Oh, they're shooting at me. I need the gas from this car. I stick the hose in. I suck until I taste gas, and then I rip my fucking thing away and I put it in the thing. I've seen it, man. I know how to do it.
You like to cram for an exam.
No, I think that some of that will come to you. I do agree, though. We should all be ready. Get guns, get seeds, get everything you need.
Simon saves these kids from falling off the bus. Like, how'd you do that? I saw it on TV. And you can do it too. Watch on TV. And no, it'd be very interesting. And just being up the bush yesterday, you're that close to it. You know what I mean? Because it's storage of food, it's fire building, it's supplies management. Just quite a bit. Just for hunting. You guys feel confident you could fight off a shark after Jim explained what you got to do?
No, I'm a terrible swimmer, so I'm losing.
No, he said
to
all
a
you got to do
shark.
is just push on the head.
Yeah, I still.
It's not if it's coming behind you, you're hooped. But if it's coming at you, just push.
I don't think that's true. But anyways.
Well, no, but the thing is, everything he said he was true. You know, if I'm lying, I'm dying, and I bet that is true.
Sure,
You can
okay,
ward
but
off
you're telling me that a shark, so you're in the
So you
water,
push-
treading water, you're going to accurately grab the head
But wait.
with jagged teeth all over the fucking...
It does it open his mouth when it attacks
May
you.
I? May I?
Go ahead.
Shark you're treading water, as Matt said. Shark comes at you. You do what Kamar said. I like it. You push that shark out of the way. So now the shark is over here. He's going to turn and bite you. You're just going to keep...
No, you turn like French
Hey,
fries.
You're in
This
his
is-
area. Not to mention too. Okay, step one, you said what? You're what? Treading
Treading
water?
water, yeah.
Yeah, no. Okay, step one, I'm drowning.
Yeah.
So I'm already at a disadvantage.
That's different.
Listen, no matter
The
what,
fact you can't swim doesn't mean the shark
my
killed you.
answer to you is I'd rather fight a bear on land than a shark
No
in the
way.
water.
What about
100%.
standing? You're in 4 feet of water up to your waist or whatever.
Well, that's a little different.
Well, at that point, I know I'm not taking on a
Give
great
yourself a
white.
chance.
It's like a bull shark or some fucking... Do I give myself a chance?
You still want us to push?
I'd rather do that to a shark than an alligator or a crocodile. I don't think you can pull that off with them.
I would still
you have to
rather-
come behind them and close their neck.
If I am
Are
on,
you you're gonna try to get
This is
behind the
insane.
alligator
This is
and
insane.
close its mouth with your hands?
I saw it on TV.
I-
that's how you know that's what you have to do though.
This is such a dumb conversation. If you are on land, you have the chance of running away. If you are in water, you do not have a chance of swimming away. You will never outswim or outdeke that shark.
You don't have to a diki. You're like a
Stop saying
a
that.
Diablo.
That only
a
works.
matador.
It only works
But your hands
once,
are the
and
red
as
flag.
soon as the bull is on the other side of you, you're fucked.
I corrected you there too. You turn with it. You just rotate. You got to pivot.
You're
That's what
assuming
words
that
are
that
2020.
shark is very slow, Kamar.
No, I think if you do that to the shark, it's like, whoa, I just got served.
He's like, I'm not gonna fuck with
It's
this.
so
guy.
embarrassed. Oh, I can't go
It
back
says
again.
something.
He knows
That's
our moves,
Establishing dominance.
isn't
He
it?
knows our move.
Yeah.
So excuse me,
Yeah,
sir. Sorry.
He knows. Tell all the other guys. He knows the move. Get out of here. Go get somebody else. He knows. He's pushing. He's one of them. Do you guys know that that orcas when they're fighting great whites, even though they don't really have to fight them because they win all the time, they can do this thing where they immobilize the great white and turn him on his back, and then they become defenseless. They're like, they just float up to the surface.
So it's possible if you knew what the technique is, you could
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. Maybe that's how you got to take care of these sharks, not this fucking pushing thing.
Orcas are nature's they're just pricks. Have you ever seen them killed? Like they wash seals off of
they're so
off
smart.
icebergs by using they make like a wave.
And
It's
no
fucked.
killer whale
would
has
you rather
ever
they starve?
attacked a human being in the wild. Isn't that nuts?
do. Would you rather they starve?
I think they're just good at covering up the body, Simon.
Maybe.
They're really good. Would I what? Ask it again, Kumar. What did you say? Would I eat an orca whale?
No, that's not what I said.
What did you say?
Would you want them to starve instead of being the assholes of the sea?
Oh no, be the assholes. It's fine. That's nature.
I thought they coined it. They might have said it's like Lion King-itis. You know, there's people that would go up to an animal like a wolf or something like, oh no, I think I know it because they were talking to the bear guy and stuff.
Yeah.
And people have that. I can just see their eyes, and the next thing you know, they're killing them. You know what I mean? And the screams don't decrease.
Well, there's so many videos of people going up to like, I don't know, something that's not a killer, but a rhino or whatever, and the thing just tossing them a million miles, you know?
But a rhino, I feel like you know just to stay.
Sure, a yak, whatever.
Even
the
then,
fuck.
you'd think of fucking a lion. I've seen people on safari jump out and grab the tail. Like,
Well, no, a lion, I would think it's got me dead to rights.
yeah.
But
So would I.
But a rhinoceros, no.
You're
Hippo,
nuts.
yes.
Well,
Hippos are the most dangerous thing in the wild.
rhinos can't be that fucking nice either, guys.
But
I wouldn't go near
But
a
all
rhino.
they
You
can do
nuts?
is impale you.
No,
do you
they
mean? They can
stomp
trample
to
you,
death,
like-
but they're way faster than you.
Are they quick or are they in a gallop? And they probably get tired fast.
Oh my God, you get tired fast.
Not anymore. Not with my new lungs.
Dude, you're nuts. So you think you could be out there just stiff arming sharks and juking rhinos in the wild?
He's matadoring sharks.
I think the rhino
He's getting
more than the
behind
shark.
alligators to close their mouth.
Well, no, I just passed that on to you guys for
He's
knowledge. to
juking
know.
and jiving rhinos.
This guy's fucked.
You guys sort of think the rhino? Yeah, it's possible though.
That it would kill you?
No,
I think it's 100%.
You could evade a rhino
No,
attack.
I don't think you could. Not in the wild.
Are you fucked? So you're in the wild. You're on the.
What are you, deaf?
the
You just
Sahara.
don't hear it coming? Like,
Okay, so what are you asking us, Kamar? Like, can I see a rhino coming and hide
This is
from
what
it?
I'm asking,
Yes.
yeah.
shark attack, bear attack, rhino attack. Which one do you
Rhino talk? Well, I'll take rhino
I'll take
talk
rhino-
all day.
rhino.
Rhino attack. Which
Rhino
one
attack
do you-
for
your
sure.
best chances?
Rhino.
Okay.
Yeah.
Point proven.
No, I still don't want to be in a rhino attack.
I don't want to be any attack, but it seems doable. The shark, after Jim Brewer's tips, seems doable. The bear, you're fucked. You're hooped.
You're fucked if you're in the water with a shark.
I don't think if you're standing up, because you can, like I told you, the technique. And the alligator, you must come from behind. Because its muscles are like that, not like that.
Okay, but explain this to me. You're in the water with a gator. It's coming head at you. How do you get behind it?
I don't know that part.
Because this thing can fucking snap right or left like
but it
90
can't see
degrees.
behind itself.
What I would do,
Oh, this is going to be
do you
good.
know egg beater?
What's that?
Oh no, you can't swim. You don't know.
You don't swim?
Well, I have no endurance. so,
Treading
like-
water without your arms.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
so
yeah,
it's-
that's
You'd have to
impossible
do
for
that.
me.
Get yourself way out of the water. Let the alligator go underneath you. Drop on top of it. Grab its mouth. Boom. Done.
This guy's more delusional than you are, maybe.
I'm just giving you an idea of what Kamar would have to do to make that happen, man.
And you'll have to do all this thing if the world ends and you find the situation, or you're going to be something's dinner.
I love how we're talking about. There's no rhino meat in Canada though. Like we're not even talking. We should be talking about animals.
If the world ends, why are you having to fight animals so much and not people?
I'm trying to hunt for my food.
Well, you're not going to be hunting fucking wolves and bears. You're going to hunt deers and possums.
So
or
I have a
whatever
better
the
plan than there. I solved my problem. I hunt Kamar. The second he makes a kill, I kill him.
It's interesting.
I take the kill.
Or you just eat him. You don't even have to wait for him to make a kill. That could take forever.
I don't want to eat human meat,
Well, you might have to, Matt.
but that's a last resort. Once he can't kill anything, I watch him die. I don't even have to kill him.
I'm just not sure Kamar's killing anything.
How long is it, like 2 weeks of looting before you really have to consider killing stuff to eat?
How long do you like?
There's a period, right?
Oh,
There's
no.
a period, right? Of
Well,
like
it's how much food you have at home. But
eating raw ramen noodles, whatever it takes.
I'd say a month.
So your whole thing, Kamar, is that you don't you'll drive the motorcycle off the building. We've been through this before.
Yeah.
So
No,
you're,
but I realized that's under like Greenland scenario.
so you will go up to your land. You'll try and survive.
After going there yesterday, it's just beautiful.
Okay. So he's changed his tune. Before it was I'm going down with the ship.
If it's Greenland, like it's hell and brimstone, like
Right.
there is nothing to be saved. Like
Well, but I mean, you could be leaving. And
he's just
3
like-
weeks from now. There's nothing to be.
Kamar's just
saved.
talking about society breaking down. That's what you're talking about, right? You're talking about like an event, like an extinction
he's
level.
talking
no, I'm
about-
talking.
I'm talking about
it's
society.
extinction level event.
He's talking
Okay.
The
extinction.
40,000 people that went on the Ark thing that they made, and everyone's doomed to die. I'm not gonna wait to die. I'm taking the
Yeah, you're definitely not
off the-
getting on that arc.
Do you guys know what BTS is?
No.
Behind the
well,
scenes.
I'll save it for the post show. And then Joe really brought it down when they got into ass removal stuff, eh?
Astral removal?
Ass removal. He was saying that some guy got a jar up his ass and it broke.
Oh, I had to fast forward through all this. I could not.
Wasn't that?
I was gonna throw up.
ridiculous?
No, I couldn't.
Unnecessary.
And I don't wanna talk about it
We're
now.
going to talk about it now because you missed it. No, I'm just kidding. But I know someone who works in the hospital and is not irregular to have one or two people come in and
With
have
something up their
removed
ass.
weekly.
Oh,
That jackass is hilarious.
Oh,
They
the-
put the car up there.
Well, that's harmless.
there's a car in your ass.
We're talking about bigger things.
Well, you've seen the light bulb, obviously.
Stevie Star would swallow light bulbs. Goldfish.
That's crazy. If that thing breaks inside of you,
Oh my
you
God.
are
A jar broke inside a guy.
Okay, that's enough. It's enough. I'll puke, honestly.
Yeah, that was the end of the podcast. It really brought it down.
Well, you definitely don't want to listen to that Skanks episode then.
No, I can't handle that sort of shit. It's fucking too much for me. Broken arms and pain and people suffer.
I had in the first iteration of this, we did talk about like whether liberal bias at universities will even out or not, but I don't have the energy. Matt thinks it will. I don't think it will. And Simon.
So, but when you say, let's just in closing, when you say you don't think it will, so you just think universities are doomed then? Because
I don't know if it's doomed, or hopefully it's like where it's at right now is as bad as it gets. But there's no like, I don't see a balance out.
Remember how Kamar said a little while ago that I don't even know if we were on air, but in order to get self-driving cars on the road, we have to take all the cars off of the road for 3 weeks to reset everything.
Yeah.
I think that's what you would have to do in the universities. It needs like a massive reset.
I was thinking as we had the first conversation around, if it was like massive donors were like super right wing or whatever, and just demanded some sort of change, maybe that could be a catalyst. Because money does talk always. Mm-hmm. But you said, I think last one you thought Jim Breuer is struggling.
I just got the impression that he was saying he didn't have money to do the things he wanted anymore. But maybe he was just being like,
Well, I think it's now like he's definitely nowhere near Joe's stratosphere.
well,
And if you compare him to other people, he's right in the middle of it doing what they're doing. You know, he does stand up for a living.
I think we forget how expensive college is in the
And he paid for his
States.
kids to go to university.
Two of them, and it's like Papa, right? Like you got to work a lot of jobs to pay for those fucking schools. Oh shit! Did you guys watch that Netflix documentary about the college scandal? Just came out.
Is that the one with the Full House was involved
Yeah,
in?
exactly. So I had
No, I
already
haven't.
listened to a podcast about it, but it's not a bad little documentary. You'll hate it, Kamar. Don't watch it. You'll hate it.
Reenactments?
Tons
It's
of
all
reenactments.
Matthew Modine plays the guy, so
Oh, I
it's
like Matthew
all,
Modine, though.
It's all reenactment.
That's not a
But
documentary. That's a
it's-
docudrama.
Sure, it's so crazy. No, because they.
Oh, it's good. You liked it?
They actually have recordings of the guy that they've done, so it's I don't know what you'd call it, but that's such a crazy.
Is someone in jail?
They went to jail for like 5 months. It was the husband of the Full House lady. She went to jail for 3 months. He went to jail for 5 months, and Felicity Huffman went to jail for 10 days because she pled guilty.
10 days.
But there were so many. Listen,
tough.
this
That's hard
was
time.
going on for years. They were the famous people, but like the rich guys and gals
still could
who
be
got
going
their
on.
people into their kids into college, it's crazy, man.
It still could be going on.
And then they show you these videos of like these kids opening up their acceptance things and getting rejected. And like, obviously it meant everything to them. And then you know that these other people on the other hand are getting in and they don't even give a fuck about it. Like Lori Loughlin's kid, she was like a big Instagram sensation person with like millions and millions of followers.
She was very attractive.
And she was like, she was constantly saying how much she hated school, and then she got into wherever
But that Aunt
Ivy
Becky,
League as a coxswain, you know, the people who
say row,
sit in front of the
stroke.
boat. Yeah, and like she obviously didn't even want to go. It was crazy, man. The whole thing's crazy.
Oh, we don't have to watch the documentary now.
Watch it. It's good. No, it wasn't good. You'll hate it, but it's a good story. So I don't know what to do.
I wonder if you guys change your opinions of this podcast after the discussion.
Change my opinions of Jim Brewer's podcast? What do you mean? We haven't rated it yet.
I think that's where we're at now.
Oh, we're done with this? Wow.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of COVID talk, and it's just going like there's a lot of, as you would say, irresponsible theories and stuff. And
It was an interesting dynamic because Joe wasn't the one pushing the envelope where usually the guest is more subdued and Joe is like,
That's true.
assumes that role. But then in this case, when the guest assumes that role, Joe has to assume the other role, which I'm not sure is really where he wants to be.
It was all Jim. And like I said, I agree with him, but I go, do I sound like that when I spew out my fucking bullshit?
Yes.
Can I say something about COVID just since we're on it and in closing, I guess? My mom got the vaccine this week, or the first shot, and she told me, this is nuts. I couldn't believe this. She goes, yeah, so I have to get the second shot, but I can still get COVID. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, I just can't. It's not likely that I'll die from it now.
Yeah.
That's insane. What are we doing
You
here?
still get COVID, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. What are we doing? You can still get it and pass it on.
Yeah.
Well, you can still get
cool.
the flu.
It just
when
doesn't
you've had
kill
the
you.
flu shot.
Oh, great.
Just less.
Nothing's going on here. This has been bullshit. This is why we can't have nice things and talk about this sort of shit.
He really wants to get going. Have you just been holding yourself back this whole time?
Well, for 5 weeks, I
No,
do
for
not.
25 minutes.
I do not want to get into this ever
Okay.
because there's too many straws that have been like that's the last straw. Because I said to someone, I can think whatever I think, but I have no power to change anything. So it's like you are along for the ride. But yeah, I like Jim Breuer, and his stand up is amazing. Like he's sort of like
When was his last special?
He's like a Brian Regan. He might be doing the same material, man. But
I was going to say, do you think he's doing new material? He doesn't seem like that type of.
You think he's just doing the same old act?
I have
no.
What do I know?
I know he did like a one man show about his dad, like a real heartfelt one. He talked about it, like I think his dad has passed away, but like having to change his dad's shorts and stuff, like more like a Richard Pryor angle of personal, not just. But his like drinking nationalities is one of the best bits ever, and he can just he's so animated. I think the majority of his fans just love seeing him.
All right.
Rate it.
Jesus. Simon's had enough. Okay, rate it, Simon.
I rate this one a 3.
Kamar.
I too rate this a 3.
All right. I'll give it a 3.5.
3.1. Sorry. Full numbers are for rookies. One bite. Everyone knows the rules.
Get the fuck out of here. This guy's stealing someone's fucking slogan. All right.
Why stop now?
Yeah, true. Good point. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening or watching, assuming that I got this on YouTube and that my computer's not a piece of shit. We have an Instagram and a Twitter. It's at JREE Podcast for both of them. You can follow Kamar on Instagram.
At Kamar Bar.
That's it. Yeah. You don't do the weather anymore?
I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. How depressing.
Not really.
Okay.
He's
We have
free.
Yeah.
free at last. Free at last. Okay. We have a Reddit. If you want to join the conversation, it's r/JREE podcast. You can join there. Tell us we suck. Tell us whatever you want. Talk to us.
Feedback is a gift.
You can follow Kamar and I on Clubhouse, I guess. We might get some Clubhouse thing going eventually for this show, but who knows? Who the fuck knows?
More feedback, more discussion. Bring it on.
Yeah. And of course, the YouTube. It's youtube.com/JREE podcast if you want to watch the show. Like I said, this may or may not make it. Who knows?
Was
Depends on my
is that
computer.
episode lost? The YouTube? I mean, we still have the audio, so nothing's lost per se. But
No, I had to ditch the video because my computer was running at like 0 with it on there. I had no choice. So it's gone. Yeah, lost to the ether. And then, of course, Kamar's favorite, the Patreon. If you want to join to support the show, you can do so for as little as $5 a month. It's patreon.com/JREE podcast. Head over there, sign up. Once Kamar hits, once we hit 100 Patreons.
as you said, the first one will get my ear pierced,
Yeah, once we hit 100 Patreons, Kamar's going to get his right ear pierced.
and with a cross in it,
Nice.
like a ring with a cross. Well,
You're going with a George Michael?
I'm not paying for it, but yeah,
Oh, I'm definitely paying for it.
perfect.
Oh, no, the podcast will pay for it.
100,000 Patreons, and I'll come to everyone's house and show you the earring.
In the shower.
100,000 Patreons, and the top 100 can pierce me.
Oh, that reminds me. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much.
On stay tuned for the post show. We're about to spit some fire.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can find the post show on the Patreon where we do the show after the show. Like I said, patreon.com/JREE podcast. That is it. Thank you so much for listening or watching. As usual, we hope you have a great weekend.
Keep your eyes open.